Yeah, it says we're live.
Let me just they can see us behind the scenes. Alrighty. We'll work on some intros and music next time, but here we go. We'll work on some intros and music. Also hearing myself on the stream. We don't like that. But we are back. What is going on?
Let's go. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. We're back.
Tuesday.
A little bit of a new setup for Tales from the Crypto. We're going to be streaming it kind of from Mo's rig. So let us know how it sounds, if the audio is working all right, and if everything looks okay. Are we lagging or anything? Hopefully this all works out fine because I got a new computer and it was not up to task to run this live stream. This stream is too hot for my little baby computer. What have you been up to this week, Mo?
Yeah, I feel like the new computer was worse than the old computer. But yeah, man, it's been a week. We've been new season on PFL, so we got a bunch of new 2-year-olds running. Having really good success on the track this season. Really dialing in, cutting out a lot of old bloodlines, and leaning into the good ones. But
that's what I like to hear. If y'all don't know about PFL, if you're here listening for the first time, you don't know what PFL is, it's Photo Finish Live, a horse racing game on the Solana blockchain. I got a couple horses myself. Mo's got a big old stable. He's always tweeting about it, making good money over there. If y'all want to check it out, the link is in the description. There we go. We got some homies in the chat. OG Alejandro is here. What's up, Alejandro? My man Dan K's in the building. Let's go. They say it sounds all right. All right, so maybe this will work. I can't stream myself, but I can do Tuesday still if we're streaming it up from Mo's rig.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, so far it looks like it's working pretty good. Bit rate stable, and this way it takes the load off of your machine, and you can actually focus on the content. And we got some content. Paranormal, we got our sports, we got our politics, a little Web3 gaming. Although Web3 gaming's been kind of dead. We'll talk about that. And then we got our crypto BB and what you watching. So, chat, let us know, man, if you guys got anything you want to hear us talk about. Maybe we can wrap it up at the end of the show. Maybe we could do it on another episode. But yeah, paranormal. What did we even decide on? I know it's pretty much our show, but I'm always like, you know what? He comes up with way better topics than me. So I normally just show up and have a little bit of knowledge. What did we decide on? Because I am the one that is controlling the screens, I guess, right now. Unless you had something bookmarked.
We came up with a lot of the good topics for today. So, I mean, of course, there's plenty of stuff to talk about when it comes to politics and crypto, but we always have to find something interesting when it comes to the paranormal topic. And there's one we've been wanting to get to for a while, the Gorgon stare, which I'll didn't quite check out the video, so you have to explain that to me. And then I know you were talking about another guy who was clairvoyant from the past, Edgar something maybe. So kind of tie those two together. But you're the man with the knowledge, so clue us all in, including myself, about these two instances.
Yes, sir. Let me bring this up. So the Gorgon stare is essentially it's a set of cameras that's mounted on a drone, and it basically creates like a quilt image where it like stitches them together. But not too long ago, there was some this guy here was actually the first one that popped up, Ashton Forbes, um, where he had some insane footage, and I think again I know we started to go over things, and then we had some technical issues, but this is one of the main videos here where it shows the plane just traveling. It was one of these missing planes that had gone. I forgot when it was, but essentially you see these little drones, orbs that people have talked about seeing orbs up in the sky, and you'll see them right here in the frame coming, and they circle the plane, and it essentially does like a teleport, and we don't know where it's going. Like, is it some sort of portal to somewhere else that, scientists are developing to hijack, aircraft or, get rid of people? We don't know. But there's a lot of evidence on this, and people that have been looking into it, they tried to really downplay it right away. Like, well, look at the FPS, and there's been other people that have now gone in and actually, like, I don't know, I guess confirmed it. I want to say rebunked it, but that would be weird. They confirmed it. Like, if you're looking at the image, if it was filmed off of a monitor, that's why the FPS would look different, because it's filmed at like 24 FPS and the monitor would be different, so the mouse looks weird. And there's so many cool videos that are being made about this too. But this technology is kind of been known about for about a decade, but no one's ever really had any proof. And this is kind of crazy, man. And the way it operates, like I said, it's got these multiple cameras that basically sit at like the same plane, and it's almost like the 360 pictures you can get on your camera where it like takes multiple pictures and stitches them together. Kind of similar to that, but it's like a big quilt. And it also has like infrared and all this other technology that they can use with it. It's really cool, man.
Yeah, I think I know a little bit about this. Shout out to Viper Actives in the chat. He's always here hanging out with us on Tuesday. Good to see you, my man. I think it's Flight Malaysia, Flight something. That's the name of
Correct.
the
Yeah, it was a
flight.
Malaysia flight.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when I first saw this video and I saw a couple of videos about this video, I was really into it and convinced about it. And then I saw a video debunking it, and I can't remember at all what the debunk was. So I can't sit here and explain it myself, but I remember
Well, it was the
watching it and like,
FPS. A lot of it
yeah,
was the FPS, and they were talking about like, well, how come this looks different than that? That's because it's like it's overlaid, it's After Effects, but no, because like I said, people went in further and they're like, well, if this is a screen recording of them, because no one's gonna have direct footage of this from like the government, you know what I mean?
true,
It would
yeah.
have to be recorded off of another device and then uploaded, so you would have like the computer resolution and then the resolution of the actual Gorgon stare cameras, which is way different. So
And I think they never found that flight, and it has a black box. So how do you never find it? Did I lose you? Or did I just blow your mind? Hello?
no, we're good. Sorry, I muted my mic for a second.
Oh.
Yeah, so when you get fake teeth, one of the things you have to do is you have to like do certain things with them to keep them in place, unless you want to use like glues and shit. And I still have my healing dentures in, so
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
I can't get implants for like 4 to 6 months minimum.
Yeah, I hear the implants are really expensive.
They are, but so are these. It's actually not that crazy if I do like just the bottoms and do like partial implants with like a plate. Kind of the route that we're looking, but you also have to wait. You have to be a candidate, to be able to drill into your fucking jaw, which I probably won't be, what I understand. But
Yikes.
yeah, this was yeah, I want to talk about this a few weeks ago when we had some issues, but I don't know. So what do you think? I know you said you saw a little video debunking it.
Yeah,
chat
I'd
even.
I'd like to watch some more videos about it myself to get both sides of it, the people that believe it, the people that don't believe it, and see who I agree with the most. Yeah, like I said, I did look into it when I first heard about it, But if it is true, then obviously I mean, would it be man-made tech or would it be alien tech? I would say it'd be man-made tech because it's crazy that they have like contrails behind them when they're going around the plane. Can you see that like in the outlines when they're showing the infrared? You can actually see the black contrails of the little three little tic-tac things. So that makes me feel like it's not alien.
Well, they're thinking that they're man-made, but the tech itself could be some sort of like hydro propulsion, which again would take us back to Tesla and potentially alien technology. You know, so I wouldn't
True.
necessarily rule it out completely, but I
Be
think
all
that
together,
these
yeah.
are military man-made for sure.
Craziness.
Yeah, that was the main one. I had I try not to rely on Grok anymore. It's been lying to me left and right. Have you had this
Man,
issue?
do not rely on Grok. Elon is messing with it. He's doing that on purpose.
It
Definitely
was
don't
good
ask.
for a while, man.
Man, I don't know about that. What do y'all in the chat? Anybody believe that this Malaysia flight, I don't remember the number of it, actually was abducted by these three apparatuses? I don't know what they are. We don't know three objects. We don't know if they were alien, military, or CGI. Get y'all's opinions. Sandbox says Grok is compromised. Yeah, I told you.
It was
Stick
doing
with
so
Chat
good, but now I was like, hey, give me some sports stories from the past 7 days, right? Trying to like train it to help us out with the show from maybe some topics or whatever. This
Nice.
fucking thing is like the Boston Celtics are up in the NBA Finals, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second.
Oh, no, no, no. That's
Be like,
definitely not.
I'm not a big basketball guy,
Right.
but even I know that the finals is Indiana Pacers and OKC, right? Like,
Okay, struggling there. Shout out to Big A's in the chat. What's up, Big A? What's up,
and
Grandma Moore?
we'll
Good to
get to
see you.
sports. I'm sorry,
Grandma Moore says
jumping the
there are so
gun,
many
but
weird things happening with no explanation. That flight was definitely taken for a reason. No evidence of wreckage. I mean, if it's got a black box, then how do they not find the black box? That's what black boxes are for. Even if it's at the bottom of the sea, they should be able to retrieve it. So it's pretty trippy.
yeah, and diving down the YouTube rabbit hole, and I don't even know like how much can we really show when it comes to like I know on Twitch and Kick you can pretty much show whatever you want, but if you get a copyright strike, you could be in trouble. I just don't want to get your channel messed up, but I
Oh,
mean, dude,
that's
there
you're
is.
fine. It's not even monetized or anything. I mean, this stream isn't monetized or anything, so I don't think it's a problem at all. What's up, Woody?
Oh,
Good to
okay.
see you, my man.
Because I mean, like
Wait,
I said,
wait.
there's so
You about to
many
show though?
like
I don't want any nipples on my stream though.
no nipples. I'm just saying it's a lot of like YouTube videos, exposés, or like footage from like the military stuff talking about
Oh,
Project
right, right.
Gorgon or even like other aircrafts and stuff that they've been testing. Because we are going to find out more about this. And I guess kind of tying into the paranormal, dude. They keep talking about the new hidden void in the pyramids from the scans, right? That we talked about.
Yes. I
There's
haven't heard
some
any
dude.
updates on it.
There's some billionaire dude that's now funding like the
Ooh,
micro robotics to go in and check it out.
nice.
The
I
problem
like
is
that.
he's actually working with fucking Zawi Hawass, Hawass,
Who?
fucking Dr. Zawi, the
The Egyptian
dumbass.
guy.
Yeah,
And
the
he's using
gatekeeper.
some micro robots to do it. Sound like a super villain to me.
I don't know, man, and we never even talked about his interview on Rogan. Like it's everything that we talk about. Where it's like, listen, a lot of this alien shit. It's like, dude, listen, stop smoking so much weed. But honestly, the more we learn, we're like, man, we were definitely way more advanced than we give ourselves credit for back then. But these guys will never admit it because all their money is so tied up and all other people's money is tied up in their research. They can't go back to the ground floor and start over. They don't want to do it. And the Rogan interview was a perfect example. It's not in my book. It's not in my book. I didn't discover it. Like, bro, you didn't discover everything in the fucking world, bro. You know what I mean?
And it's not
And
even just their current money, it's their future money too. So there's no way they're giving that up.
yeah. So, of course, the guy that, is doing the funding for this Search of the Void,
Mhm.
of course, he's working with Dr. Zawi. And I'm just like, man, well, then, can we really trust it? Like, I don't
Nope.
know, man.
I mean, they gotta show some kind of proof if it's as big as the scans show it to be. Sandbox says I have to agree with Bannon, Steve Bannon. Since USA funds 90% of SpaceX, it should be nationalized so the tech can be sold slash given to our enemies. Oh, so it can't be sold slash given to our enemies, especially since the person who runs it is somebody who is technically a foreigner. we're gonna well, we can get into that first because I don't know if that'll be a topic that we will talk about when it comes to politics. So, should SpaceX be nationalized? NASA's already nationalized. It's like SpaceX and NASA are competitors. Elon Musk is mad at Donald Trump because he wouldn't appoint his buddy to be the head of NASA. And if he would have appointed his buddy to be the head of NASA, then NASA would have started giving all of their contracts to Elon Musk. So I agree. It should be nationalized. I think Elon has a little bit too much power. What do you think, Mo?
Um, yeah, and I think the rift between them two
Ugh.
is pretty freaking hilarious. It's like, dude, did you really think he wasn't gonna do shit to the EV stuff in the bill? Like, I mean, drill, baby, drill. Like, Elon even talked about it when he first jumped on. He's like, yeah, I know it's, we're gonna get to EV eventually, but it shouldn't be such a cut and dry thing. He was agreeing with it back then, but then he leaves and he's crying, and I don't know. I just think it's hilarious, to be honest.
Yeah, two giant egos are never gonna work well
Yeah.
together for the long term.
Yeah, and I like both of them, but they both also irritate the crap out of me. So it's like, I guess whatever day ends in Y,
All right, before we get to politics, we gotta get into sports this week because you already know why.
Oh yeah, Indiana Pacers, baby.
Yeah, NBA Finals. Poor Mo's Knicks got their butts kicked in six. The Knicks got beaten six, and Pacers are playing against the Thunder. Thunder has home court advantage, but the Pacers surprised everybody and won game one. So now their score is 1-1, and the next game is tomorrow in Indiana. Now, I'm tired of people around the internet and around the world saying that Indiana Pacers are using black magic. First, it was my kid. He's like, everybody on TikTok is saying that Halliburton is using black magic. And then I start watching this live stream on YouTube and they're talking about how it's black magic. People hit buzzer beaters all the time. Watch yourself an NCAA tournament. It's just skills, my friends. Who do you think is going to pull this off? You think the Pacers are going to be able to win it? They are definitely the underdog. Going into it, I think they were a 10-point underdog, 10 and a half point underdog to win the whole entire tournament or the whole entire finals. But I feel like right now, with them still in home court advantage, they're the favorites, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think
Thoughts?
Indiana looked damn good. I don't really know too much about OKC. Honestly, when I watched the game, they looked kind of boring to me.
They got the MVP, though.
Who's that? Oh,
Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
it's not the dude. Who's the dude that missed like the wide open shot at the end of the first game?
I'm not
Like, yeah, I don't know too
sure.
much about their roster, but dude, like they talk about how great the dude was on OKC, and it's like a 4 or 5 footer inside the paint, a little jumper, and he just fucking breaks it, dude. I'm like, come on now.
It might not be clutch. He's young. I mean, if you're going to be a superstar, you got to be clutch, too. He kind of choked.
Yeah, and I see like I see like Halliburton and these guys like playing their asses off, dude. I like the other guy they got too. Again, I don't even know this roster too much, but the few games I watch, I'm like, oh, this dude's actually pretty nice looking. Shit. What was it? Is it Toppin? Toppin's another one they got? Is that him?
Oh, yeah. Obi Toppin. He was playing for the
Yeah.
Knicks. The Knicks drafted him, and the Knicks let him go.
Yeah. He was looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, they were chanting his name and stuff. He scored like 20-something points. He was
And then
looking
the Knicks
clutch.
got rid of their damn head coach, which, again, I don't
That
really
was
follow
crazy.
basketball. I'm not going to, claim to know everything. But if you're in shambles for that long and you're playing pretty well and you get your team to Eastern Conference Finals, I mean, shouldn't you at least get another year based on that? I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau doesn't really make much sense to me either because whenever he first became the head coach of the Knicks, weren't even making it to the playoffs. They didn't make it to the playoffs the next year or so. And then the year after that, they made it to the playoffs. And the year after that, they made it to the game before the Eastern Conference Finals. And then this year, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So they've only gotten better and better and better. And they just picked up Karl Anthony Towns to make the team better. So it's just kind of crazy that they're firing their head coach. I don't know if they have like somebody in mind in particular to replace him already. That's why they did it. Or some people just say that the owner, I don't know if you know about it since you're in New York, Dolan or something is like just a
Oh, yeah.
crazy person. Is he a crazy person or something?
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, they're horrible owners.
oh, okay.
They always mismanage. But actually, I used to work for him. He used to own the cable company that I worked for.
Oh,
Well, his
nice.
father. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like you got to give him another shot. You know, and honestly, when I watched the Knicks, Anthony Towns, bro, I've never seen someone force so many shots in my life. Like the dude was just brick after brick after brick, and I turned it off. And of course, you know, talking to my buddy the next day, he's like, "Yeah, he put up 20 at the fourth quarter." I'm like, "Of course he did." Of course he did. But when I'm watching this dude, and he's like, he feels like
He's
he's the whole
streaky.
team.
He
Yeah, I
tries to
guess.
get,
I mean, I guess,
yeah, when
but
he gets hot though, he gets hot. Alejandro says Pascal Siakam is that dude. Spicy P, he is the dude. That's probably the, I don't know. Some people say he's the best player for the Pacers. Some people say it's Halliburton. But then Alejandro went and blew it and said, OKC's got this. Nah, bro, let's put some money on it. I'm going for the Pacers. That's all I wanted to say. Go Pacers. Let's win this championship. All the fast food places around here have changed their signs to say Go Pacers. People are upset because not that many people are watching the NBA finals. They feel like these are two small market teams, but I don't know what to tell you. I'm happy for it.
yeah, I mean, I feel like even people like me are watching. I mean, I
Nice.
am watching more for Indiana because I thought they looked good when they beat the Knicks, but
And I'm watching on a free stream, so don't even count.
that's true. You know, that's why, right? They don't know how many people actually watch on those damn sites.
Exactly.
If they did, they'd be like, "Well, this has more viewership than cricket." But actually,
Alejandro says,
I'm sure NBA does very well. We've had this discussion. I was actually shocked when I looked into the popularity of the NBA, even to this day. It actually blows my mind, but it makes sense too at the same time.
yeah, it's the most exciting sport to watch, in my opinion. Alejandro says the Knicks might be trading for Giannis. I know Giannis is moving. Well, I don't know for sure, but I feel like he's definitely gonna be moving to a new team. He's gonna be looking to go to a big market. But man, the Knicks already have Cat. I can't see those two working together very well. Who knows? It could happen.
Yeah, my buddy was saying the Knicks might be getting Jason Kidd as a coach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say as a player, he's old.
No,
Like, I don't know if he's
that
still
was my
effective,
first
man.
thought. That was my first thought when he said it, but I'm like, wait, no, he was coaching, right?
Shout
He's
out to
old as
Ronnie
fuck.
Lido. What's up, Ronnie? Oh, I trade Cat for Giannis. Oh, yeah, I think they should get rid of Cat. He's just a little too awkward for me. Look like a crybaby. But oh well. All right, let's talk about politics. There's lots of politics stuff to get to, Mo.
Oh yeah.
So, what do you consider the biggest story in politics right now today? Mosif.
Can I just say I hate them all?
But I mean, we all
Can I
do,
just
I
say
think.
like I fucking LA riots, fucking auto pens, fucking
See, well,
Trump
that was the point I
Elon
was gonna make is
fallouts.
that the top story on every channel is the LA riots, but I think it's manufactured that way because if it wasn't the LA riots or the LA protests, it would be what just happened with Elon Musk calling out Donald Trump as being part of the Epstein files. That's what everybody was talking about. And I think they purposely are bringing in National Guard and the Marines now, I think, for this small protest that it wasn't even that bad, and they're doing it in order to distract everybody from the big news that yes, like we told you, Donald Trump is a pedophile. At this point, you can't really deny that he's a pedophile. I mean, why would Elon Musk lie about it? He obviously has access to that information.
Yeah, but there's a
What
lot
is
of people on the Epstein list that were already known about. I mean, if they did business or had family flights or whatever, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. But I'm just saying there are people that could be on that list that are just going to be on that list for normal reasons. But
right? But he's going to be all over that list. I have a feeling.
well, that's
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. That's what we would need to see. You know, if it's like, oh, he flew here once or twice and he had his kids with him and his family, I'm like, you know, am I going to believe that? Probably not. You know. But
right?
yeah, if he's showing up on every back and forth, like I'm pretty sure Clinton will. Um,
Yeah, true.
and keep in mind, I love Bill Clinton, but you know, who smokes weed, plays a saxophone, gets laid in the White House. I mean, shit, it's fucking my role model growing up. But you know,
Everybody likes
it would.
Billy.
I would want to see the files, you know. But yeah, I thought it was kind of crazy when he was fucking barking out that shit. But you might be right. I mean, smoke screen. I saw your I saw your reply on the tweet. It was just random. I clicked on it, and your reply was right there. It was like, I wonder how much you got paid to take this picture.
Yes, because the pictures of the LA riots and the dude who took the picture is like from the US Daily or not US Daily Mail, the Daily Mail, which is like one of the biggest right-wing newspapers in the world. So you know that they told this guy to go take this Mexican flag, stand on top of this burnt car. I'm going to take this professional picture of you, and it's going to be the picture that everybody's talking about to frame the way that they want to frame the LA protest. And it worked. That's what they do. They frame it the way they want to frame it, and everybody goes with it because it fits their narrative. It's like confirmation bias. Let me read the
Yeah,
chat real quick. Ronnie Lido says the biggest story is the one they aren't reporting on. It probably is. It's probably the
true.
big, beautiful bill
The
and
aliens.
what it's going to do to the rest of us. Let's see. Still, it's all kayfabe. Prove me wrong. Woody agrees. Yeah, I think it's kayfabe is a distraction. Everyone on that list. That's the thing. The thing is, there's people on the left and the right on the list, but I mean, you're never gonna see it. And what's crazy is the Bongino guy and is his name Cash Patel. Those two dudes before they became part of the administration were on their live streams, their own YouTube channels every day talking about, oh, they're hiding the Epstein files. Most they definitely did not kill himself. I could give you 1,000 reasons. They bring their doctors on and have interviews like and discuss why it's impossible that, and then they become part of the administration. They find out that Trump is on the Epstein list, and all of a sudden they're like, no, no, he just killed himself.
Yeah, and it always it's like the government or just sometimes people in power in general just want to. They feel like they're protecting others by hiding information, but I don't think that's true at all. I think I agree with Grandma Moore rather. Sorry. Just fucking publish them, dude. Just whoever it buries, it buries. If you were fucking had your hand in that cookie jar and you're gonna get fucking caught, oh well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm surprised that it hasn't leaked, but I think even if it leaked, people would just say it's fake. So maybe it has leaked and we don't even know it. So yeah, I agree. Publish the Epstein files. But all right, so where do you stand on what's going on in LA for people who haven't been paying attention or maybe from overseas or whatever? The situation right now is that Donald Trump is trying to deport as many illegal immigrants as possible. However, they are deporting asylum seekers as well, which, as I've explained many times, are not actually illegal. So it's kind of messed up the way they're doing it. And recently, they're trying to up the amount of people that they are deporting per day. So they've gone into Los Angeles, which is known as a sanctuary city. And I mean, it's Los Angeles. That's a Spanish word. The name, it's a Spanish name itself. So they've been going in there and going into places like Home Depot, even though Trump was saying in his speeches that, oh, we're only going to go after the criminals. We're going to go after the criminals first and all this. Now they're going after people at Home Depot, which I mean, as liberal as I am, I believe that if you cross the border illegal, then yeah, you should be deported. I have no problem with that at all. I mean, I don't even care if you've been here for 20 years or, I mean, I don't know. Then it gets kind of crazy. What if you've been
No,
here
but
for
that's what
20
matters,
years?
though. That was the whole basis of like the Reagan stuff that he fucking put through was like you had to be here a certain amount of time, you had to be working, like had to be contributing. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah, that was amnesty. I mean, I agree with that. But believe it or not,
but
I would
coming in
agree with
now, the
President.
way they do it is what I think we both say needs to be fixed or changed. Like, you don't go to a sporting event, go inside and wait for the shit to start. You stand outside, wait to get your ticket punched, and then you go in, right? Like,
Yeah,
or else you get thrown
absolutely.
out. Like,
Yeah,
it
right.
just,
But
I
I
don't know.
mean, what they're doing now is pretty messed up. Not only the fact that they're doing it where they're wearing masks and just sneaking up on people, but I saw a report yesterday where they broke up a little kid's birthday party in order to go in there and arrest everybody. And then what really gets dicey is when you have somebody who's been here for a long time and has a child, and the child is, of course, born here, so they're an American citizen, and you want to deport the illegal mother, let's say, and she has to take her child with her, but you can't deport an American citizen to another country. That's like smuggling a person into a country. That's not a thing. So I don't know how we're supposed to handle that.
Yeah, no, it actually is a really bad catch-22. I mean, what do? You give them the option. Say, okay, well, if you want to leave the kid here, but then it's like, no. But then you got like what Holman will say is like, well, let me just send the kid with him. But like you said, then, yeah,
It's the
now we're
country.
just
We don't know the
sending.
country they're going to's laws, and I
Right.
don't think you can just, yeah, breach it. That's like illegal immigration into that country.
Well, that's what we always talk about too, right? Like, we can't just pick up and say, hey, you know what? I feel like moving to another country tomorrow. Like, it doesn't work that way. And most of the time, they won't even take Americans. But, you have to have some sort of trade, where they're
Yeah,
actually consider you an asset. And most of the
true.
time, they're just like, nah, like, we're good. So, we don't really, we haven't had those, guidelines in quite some time. But it's kind of crazy that every other country still does, But
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to. We got to somehow get to the bottom. But everything, like everything's on fire, literally. Fucking LA is on fire.
Ronnie Lydell says, we break up American families all the time with zero riots, just a non well thought perspective by me. Yeah, I mean, it's really, if you look at Obama, who was known as the deporter in chief, and how many people he deported and how many people Biden deported in his 4 years, they did all that without having to have a Gestapo police, without having people so upset that they're rioting and stuff. I mean, they were obviously doing it the right way. They were going in and finding the people who weren't supposed to be here. Whereas Trump, and I mean, I do feel like they probably deputized a whole bunch of Proud Boys and militia dudes that are just absolute morons that are going out there and giving them guns and stuff and just letting them arrest anybody that they see who's brown, which is pretty much anybody who looks Mexican to them. They're going to put in the car and arrest and put in the handcuffs, even if they're American citizens. Sure, when they get down there, they'll get released, but you get no recourse or anything. And I mean, you get treated like a criminal, which is messed up. But the worst part, of course, like I've said 100 times, is the people who came in the right way through a border gate to seek asylum as they were told to do, and they're still waiting for the process to happen. They're going to get picked up, they're going to get scooped up, arrested, and they're going to get deported as well. And they're some of them are getting sent to El Salvador as criminals, and they didn't commit any crime whatsoever, like the Abrego Garcia dude. And now they're saying Abrego Garcia trafficked like thousands of people now. They're just making this guy out to be the worst criminal of all time. And when they actually arrested him, he had no criminal record. And they said in court that he was arrested and deported as an administrative error. It's just wild.
I mean, there were reports of him and his wife and her calling domestic abuse or whatever. I mean, I don't know if that was
Yep,
unwarranted and
yeah,
never
I
actually
mean,
happened, but
yeah, they
you
never
know,
pressed charges or anything. That's why he doesn't technically
well,
have a
yeah,
court
but
record,
listen,
a criminal
if you
record.
if you live in New York and maybe you grew up in the '80s and the '90s, there was still a little bit of mob pressure around, and sometimes when things pop off and all of a sudden like a person comes and knocks on your door and like, hey, you didn't see nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I didn't see nothing. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but there are ways to keep people quiet. I don't know. I just feel like, man, no matter what we do now, it's like I even look to the Democrats. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, who's stepping up? Who's trying to make a name for themselves? And it still just looks like Newsom running his mouth. But
Have you been hearing what's going on with like David Hogg? The whole Democratic Party is crazy.
no, what's going on with him?
Do you know who David Hogg is?
Yeah.
So yeah, he was the survivor of one of the school shootings, I think Parkland or something, and now he's into
Yes.
politics.
Yeah.
And he had just gotten elected to be part of the head of the Democratic National Convention, the DNC. And when he got up there after being elected, he was doing his speeches or whatever, and he was basically saying that we got to get rid of some of these old people. We got too many old people, and we got to be younger or whatever. So what the old people is, they got together and said, let's get rid of this dude. So they're doing a whole new revote. They came up with some crazy reason to do the revote, and they're like vote him completely out because they want to stay old establishment, all the rich money.
Yep.
Like the Democrat Party is not good at all. There is the reason why their approval rating is like under 20%. Like I don't like the Democrat Party. I hate Trump, but I hate Democrats too. Everybody who hates Trump also hates the Democrats because they're doing
No, I know.
nothing
That's why we do the show.
ineffective. They're trash. I mean,
I know. That's why
I
we
kind
do
of
the
like
show.
AOC, but I think Newsom is trash too. I like the way that he's standing up to Trump, but he's part of the establishment 100%.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
mean, I even saw a thing where it was like the Democrats were holding some like convention of like trying to figure out how to reach the young male audience with the voting.
yeah,
And they held it in like some crazy rich ass fancy hotel.
of course.
And it was just like, well, what are you guys really doing? Like, how is this going to help reach the young average male citizen? You know what I mean? Again, it just shows like out of touch and like who the hell is really running the show.
Yeah, they're all
But
geriatric. How would they know how to attract young voters? Let me catch up with the chat real quick.
yeah,
Goat Slayer's in the house. What's up, Goat Slayer? Good to see my man. Says, hope you're having a good day and are still a VB Gen. Unfortunately, because nobody will buy my number 9 special edition that I'm trying to sell for 400. If you want to grab it, feel free. It's on the market. Colonel says some are being sent to Africa. I heard that too. I don't remember which country it was. Like, what the hell? America is paying them to take the deportees. These are not just people that are being deported, though. They're being imprisoned. That's the problem, and especially when some of them are asylum seekers. I mean, if you want to imprison them for coming into the country illegally, do we have a law that says that they need to go to prison for that? I mean, I don't, I guess, but not for the rest of their lives. Ronnie Lotto says even humans are all mimicking their favorite celebrities and trends known as an individual anymore. Yeah, there's some out there, but yeah, most people are that way. What's up, Rob T? Good to see you, my man. Vaulty Burton, we were just talking about the Pacers. Go Pacers. Hope everyone's doing well. We're doing all right. We'll be doing better if the Pacers win tomorrow. David Hogg is a joke, a weak joke. I like David Hogg. I mean, compared to everybody else, compared, look, who else do we have? Like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Come on. He's saying some good stuff, just needs a thicker neck. Yeah, he needs people backing him up too. Where's AOC at in this discussion? Ron Moore says, I don't like either party. I also do not like either party. What do you think about Elon saying we need a new party? He was saying 80% of the rest of the country should be its own new party.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years.
What are the values? Like, what are the policies of this new party? It seems like you're bringing people from the left and the right together. So are we together on agreeing that we need Medicare for all? Because that's kind of like a deal
Yeah,
breaker for people on the left. Are people on the right going to agree with that?
the way you do it is you put corporate greed in the mix. So you say, okay, we legalize weed federal. We let government profit on it, right? So they make that money. All the people at the top, they're happy. But then we take that money and we fix the roads and we put it back into the schools and we fucking do free healthcare. Because guess what? The amount of money that fucking some of these states raise from taxing weed, like people get full tax returns like the first fucking hour of the fiscal year. You know what I mean? Like shit's getting paid for already, so they can do that federally. And I forgot the number, but it was astounding. It was on some podcast, and they were like, yeah, that would actually fund, like, you know, Medicare for all, like Bernie always cries about. Not say cries, but like he always
And we
talks
all get
about.
to get high. What's wrong with that? That sounds like a
That's what I'm saying. It's a
win-win.
win-win. But then I'm saying, then you allow corporations to come in and say, okay, well then, you know, you got Marlboro weed. You know, you got Marlboro greens now, you know?
Yep. We're
Like,
always talking
just,
about Marble Greens. Even since I was in college, we used to say there's going to be one day there's going to be a pack of Marble Greens by
hmm
Marlboro. Open it up, it's going to be little joints in there.
yeah. And, you know, if they can profit and the American people can profit, then that's what I feel like brings the left and the right together, because that's usually the biggest problem.
True.
Left wants to help the people, right wants to help themselves. But then the left also has kind of lost their way, and they want to like mold people and shape people into some weird ideologies, which I don't agree with. But there's a lot of good ones, you know, and I feel like the good ones will come to the center and have a conversation, you know.
100%. Ronnie Lido says team human, period. That's right. We need healthy people that don't need so much Medicare first, then free healthcare for all is feasible. That's what free healthcare does, though. It's preventative healthcare. People don't do preventative healthcare now because they're paying for healthcare. If you get free healthcare, then you do preventative healthcare and you have more healthy people overall. Ronnie Lido says
Well,
I've
you
been
also
saying
have to teach good health, and that's what I think with RFK Jr. what he's doing, like being able to go into the schools now and be like, you guys are going to put a curriculum together where we're teaching kids how to be healthy. Like, even like when I grew up, they would, you know, teach us like exercise routines and ways to stay fit and healthy and physically and your
we see
brain.
that. Do they not
You
do that
know?
anymore?
No, hell no.
I mean, I don't
Hell
know if I
no.
want RFK. Is he going to tell us to drink, tell my kid to drink raw milk or something? I don't know if I like his ideas of what's being healthy.
I mean, you know, and we talked about this too, right? With like vaccines and people like, oh, well, they always like, oh, when vaccines came out, the rise of like people dying from diseases and shit went down, which is true. It's also when people started washing their fucking hands.
Exactly.
If you go back, look at the time frame, like it's not just vaccine related, like there are other factors involved, but you know.
That was a big factor for sure. Ronnie Lotto says, I've been saying for 20 years now, why isn't there basic human needs for free water, basic real food, underwear, t-shirts, pants, free vouchers every year for at least those items, and healthcare? I mean, some people need that. I mean, they're born with conditions
Well,
that need healthcare, whether there's nothing they can do about it.
right, the ones that need it have to get it, in my opinion. No matter what, they have to get it. The people that get it, and I've seen it, we've seen it during COVID with tons of people, and even beforehand with welfare. You let these people live a comfortable life, they're going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Give them an inch, they're going to go for a mile. Like, how can I keep making more money and fucking over the government and fucking over the people?
We
Like,
have to get used to it because AI is going to have all the jobs pretty soon anyway.
yeah, I
Like,
know.
let people live. Let people do whatever they want. If they don't want to work, just let them have basic needs because our society needs for people to be taken care of. Otherwise, you're going to have desperate people who commit more crime because they're poor and have no hope. If they're doing what they want to do, I mean, they have the decision. I mean, that's just how it's kind of. an extreme view of it, but if you're looking forward and AI is coming and taking everybody's jobs anyway, then why not move towards where we're going to be end up anyway?
Yeah, and it's still funny now that a lot of companies are like, I'm having such trouble with employees and blah 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 blah. It's like, but they weren't crying for the past 8 to 12 years. I think we're back to Obama when they were doing like tax credits for businesses with like investing in the AI and tech, like
Right.
automation.
Yep.
They loved it back then when they were getting their money back, but now they're like, oh shit, that might have actually fucked me in the long run.
Let me catch up with the chat. I want to talk about Palantir first before we move on. Let me see. Ronnie Lido claims he hasn't been to the hospital once in 42 years. I've never broken a bone. I did get a few stitches, a couple on my elbow, a couple on my nose, but I've never really been sick, knock on wood. I had shingles once when I was in middle school, but that was it. Raw milk is very good for you, Ronnie Lido. That's not accurate. But do not drink raw milk, man. Do some research on that. I've been hearing bad
Raw
things
milk.
about drinking
I just
raw
drink
milk. Like,
I drink whole milk. I don't know about raw milk, not straight from the fucking udder.
I can't drink whole milk. I can't drink skim milk. I gotta get that 2%, baby. I need it. I need that 2% of
You
fat.
don't need it. Shit, your body is just accustomed to it now. If you grew
I
up your whole
got
life drinking whole milk, you'd be fine.
true, exactly.
Unless you have
I
like some
hate,
sort of allergy or like you drink it, like you eat someone eats a peanut or something and their fucking throat closes up. Like, okay, there ain't nothing you can do about that. But
yeah. Ronnie Leno says he hates politics and anyone that participates. Hopefully, you still vote though, whether you want to talk about it or pay attention to it. Your vote matters, or else you're letting other people decide your fate. Bernie advocates for what you're saying, Ronnie Lido. Nobody likes Bernie. He's a socialist. Uh-oh, hit the wrong button. Let me see. No one does it correct ever, although America's Constitution is by far the best in the world. Do you mean like universal health care? No one does it correct? Not a fan of Bernie at all. See, I told you, I despise anyone trying to manipulate facts for gains. All truth, period, unless you're trying to get laid. Fair. Let's see what he says. What they said, we're all going to get jobs fixing the robots, but we're all going to get rich. The people who say that it's okay that the AI robots are going to take everybody's job because we're going to have jobs fixing the robot are very bad at math. That's not to carry the
no, because
one.
you can have robots fixing the robots.
That too. But also, I mean, if you have 500 robots taking 500 jobs, you don't need 500 people fixing 500 robots. What he says, bathing in sewage also not good for you. Yeah, I saw where RFK did that. One lady says, I barely drink milk unless it's needed for food ingredients. I love milk. I don't know why. I always grew up on it. Grandma Moore says, when I was a kid, we got milk from the farm. My brother loved it. Is it pasteurized first, or are you talking like straight from the nip? You drinking it straight
Straight
from
from
the
the
nip?
nip. That's
Ronnie says,
crazy.
the majority of Americans don't vote, just saying it's either 60% vote that are eligible or 60% that are eligible don't vote. I thought it was 60% do vote. So technically the majority does vote, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Mo, have you heard about the whole Palantir thing and are you scared to death about it?
No, fill me in. Palantir.
How is people not hearing about this? Is probably the big freaking story that nobody's talking about that they're trying to
You'll know
distract you
why.
from.
No, you'll know why when we get to what you watching. Because I haven't watched anything else except
Oh,
for what's
gotcha.
on what you watching. But go ahead.
Got you. Okay, so Palantir is, I mean, maybe somebody in the chat can explain it better because I haven't watched a whole lot about it, but it's this crazy company, right? That's been around for a while, and their CEO goes and does these keynote talks and interviews where he's talking about how he's going to use technology to control society. That's his goal, and how he's going to be able to make the people who are acting up have less of a voice so they can be less heard. And now Trump says the government is now going to hire Palantir. They've already hired Palantir to take the information, the data from all the different departments and put it all together. So basically, it's like a big brother database that's going to have everybody's information, whether it's medical, financial, social posts. They're going to put it all together so that they can just control it. A lot of people are really, really worried that this is going to be a way for them to control society. I don't know. Are you
Well, you
guys
know what
worried
that's
about it
step
in the
one
chat?
to.
What's that?
So that's just step one to a social score, like some sort of like, okay, we
Exactly.
gather all these reports, and then MoKnowz is a 420 overall, and Vault is a 500. So Vault gets access to these roads and these buildings because he's a 500, and MoKnowz is a 420. He doesn't deserve it, which is going to be a whole weird new level of like classification, hatred, and bias, and all sorts of weird shit. I don't know, man. It's It's scary, but we already knew it was fucking coming. And they'll come up with some crazy math and be like, well, it saves money in the long term because now it's only one person checking the records instead of like 20 different organizations, and then they have to come together and, they have to put their information together. I mean, which would make sense, but not for the way that they want to use it or they intend to.
What trips me out about the whole thing is the fact that it's happening right now under Trump, and that the people who are the most scared of it and the people who worry about it the most are the people on the right. But now that it's happening under Trump, they're just like, okay, that's cool. We're cool with it. It's like it's so easy for them to be swayed into doing something that they have been yelling about to be scared of for the last 20 or 30 years. It's just mind-boggling. I mean,
Yep. What is
the
it called?
Democrats.
Posturing? Would that be political posturing at its finest?
Let's see. There's South African PayPal Mafia. Is that is that Elon Musk gang's name? I didn't know that. AI surveillance for hire. His words, not mine. Yeah, I think that's what they've said. He said all you have to do is ask what you need, and his company can make whatever you need for the right price. He's talking about Palantir. Seems like Credit China and yeah, not social credit in China. I believe the Doge data mining wars for Palantir to get our info, their buddies, 100% their buddies, and they went into the
Oh
Social
yeah.
Security Administration and downloaded all of that data into their own servers, and now they're connected with Palantir. I mean, I don't really know what they could do with all that data. I mean, people seem to be worried about it, but
I
I
bet you
mean, what
that
are they?
98% of that data is already out there in the world anyway. Especially when people like so worried about the government listening to me. You carry around a smartphone, a smartwatch, and like you have 7 different fucking baby cameras and fucking ring cameras. Like if you're really worried about
True.
surveillance, you wouldn't have that shit.
Yeah, I've always said they should have cameras on every corner because I don't care. Like, I don't understand why you're worried about your privacy if you're in public unless you're trying to hide something. So everybody's always
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I don't want them watching me." You know, watch me. I ain't got nothing to hide. Ronnie says, "Oh, hold on. Let me see what he says." I believe. Hey, I read that. Ronnie says they'll save tons of money after humans are obsolete. Don't say that. Not true. Many outspoken about the Palantir move. Yeah, people on the that's true. There are a lot of people on the right that are outspoken about it. But then once this LA protest happened, suddenly everybody's distracted and nobody wants to talk about it anymore. It's called Sesame Credit. Oh, I thought you I thought you
Hmm.
had a typo or something. That's their social credit system. All right, we're gonna have Sesame Credit here on Sesame Street over here. Sandbox says people with high social scores will not want to associate with low ones because by associating with them, it will lower your score. None of us
Yeah.
on
And then guess
staff have
what?
been private for decades. Maybe Twitter followers gives you a high social score, so I need to keep my Twitter followers up, and then I'll be up in the upper echelons, and I can hang out with Jared Kushner and stuff.
Yeah, but what about if every negative post brought your overall score down, or every shit post brought your score down?
Oh, then I'm in
Um,
last place then.
if you didn't, if you weren't like rebroadcasting or reposting like the propaganda they wanted you to, you fucking lose points.
Right, yeah, 100%. Yeah, and they're building up Twitter to be like the main marketplace of ideas, and Elon Musk has full control of it, so he can just kick you off of it, and all of a sudden you're not relevant anymore. People who even make their daily income on Twitter, he can just kick you off if he don't like you. And some
Yeah,
people think you
and just
should
keep in mind that
socialize
10 years
Twitter
from now,
because it has too much power. It's pretty
true,
powerful.
true. But just
Yeah,
think about it, 10 years from now, we're gonna have a topic on the show that says, "I was labeled a scorist. People don't want to talk to me because of my low social score."
right.
That scorism at its finest, bro. You wouldn't talk to
Yeah, I
me because
know.
I was a sub 390.
Then they start doing some DEI score, social score hiring. What
That'd
he
be
says, if they look at my
SEI.
negative posts, I'm screwed. I'm going to see cut. I was thinking about just deleting my whole entire Twitter because I'm afraid literally that they will look up people talking trash about Trump on Twitter and well, maybe not arrest them, but I don't know. Who knows, man? It's getting kind of crazy out here. I feel like we're going through some stuff America's never gone through before. I don't understand people on the right, people that are Trump supporters like yourself, Mo. Do you feel like this is normal, or do you feel like it's extreme? Are you good with everything that's happening right now? Let me know. Are you still supporting Trump?
I mean, I'm still in on the big picture, but I do think a lot of the smaller stuff, even like when it comes to Israel, Palestine getting involved, even when it comes to Ukraine and Russia getting involved, like I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the idea that we're still just trying to like be better than China. You know what I mean? It seems like everything that we do is just like, oh, we have to be better than China. Like we have to keep up with this, keep up with the Joneses. But at the end of the day, I think that, again, we talk about it. Other countries, you can't just walk in there and seek asylum or get anything. You just have to put an application in and get denied, or potentially get accepted. But I feel like if we just do that like every other country, and we have some patriotism and stop helping other countries when we can't help ourselves.
I don't know that every other country is like that.
Yeah, that's why it's called a country. You have to have borders. You can't just have fucking open borders.
You might be right. I don't know for sure, so I can't dispute it.
All I'll say is that and again, this is anecdotal, but there was a time when I was going to do a truck route, right? Yeah. And we would have to spend a lot of time like going through the Canadian border, like north of me. Mm-hmm. And we were going to be there so often, like staying back and forth, that we had to have like dual citizenship. And I had to talk to an immigration lawyer.
Jeez. And
that shit blew my mind. Because in my mind, I'm just thinking like, oh, just show up like I'm driving to visit you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Here I am. I'm in your state. Let me stop by the house. Nope, it ain't like that. Like, it ain't like that, And
seriously, even more.
I can't speak for every other country, but I do know that the few that we talked about on this call were definitely like, nope, they're going to screen you. They're going to put you through testing. They want to know what your qualifications and like,
oh yeah,
why can't we just have that here? Like, I don't know, it just makes sense. Like, if you want to come here and work on the farms and, pick the fruits and do all that stuff that they say Americans don't want to do, fine, then just apply for it and then come on in and have the job. I don't have a problem with them being here. You know that,
We're going to need that work, so yeah, it makes sense. Grandma Moore says I would be in big trouble because I don't do Twitter. Don't worry, Grandma's social scores are based on Facebook. Maybe MySpace, I don't know. Ronnie Lido says that's a great Community episode. Oh, Meow Meow Beans. Oh, Community episode. I've never watched Community. Or a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, Community, yeah. Community was a great show.
Ronnie Lido says never supported Trump. I just want progress in the right direction, period, no matter who becomes the face of power. I'm down with some progress. Watch the failed TV show Colony. I've been calling this for years. I don't get into TV shows anymore. Ronnie says each state and then each city will eventually become walled in. Like, what? I don't want that to happen. Like in the movie In Time, too. Is that the name of the movie, In Time?
Oh, In Time was a great movie, dude.
Ooh, I kind of want to see that.
With Timberlake? Good.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, bro. Yo, that is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It's insane.
Dang,
it fucks with your brain, dude. It fucks with your brain. Like, time is the currency. So you start with a set amount of time, and if you do the right thing and you go to work, you get paid in time. And then if you want to eat something that's really bad for you, you get a lot of time deducted from your fucking lifespan. And it's just a bank back and forth. And as soon as that timer goes to zero, you drop dead.
I would watch that. That sounds really cool. Grandma Moore says,
such a good movie.
Support Trump over Democrat options. So literally, this guy has been proven to be a pedophile. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He's just arresting people and putting them in prison without them committing crimes. And you're over that. You're for that over Medicare for everybody. I don't know. I don't know who these people are.
I don't know if we were getting Medicare for everybody with Kamala, but yeah, if it was Bernie, it would have been a way different vote for me. I'll tell you that much.
Next time it's going to be AOC, so you'll have that chance probably. Ronnie Lato says, or Hunger Games. I've seen that one. Remember when The Matrix was just a movie? Now it's becoming reality. I think it's more like Idiocracy becoming reality. Woody says, I feel like we're in Hunger Games sometimes, especially if I see Jesse Waters clips. I cannot watch the Jesse Waters guy. The dude is. He says you shouldn't sip soup in public if you're a man because it's not manly enough. Bruh. Get out of here. Thanks, Waters.
And I never agree with everything anybody says, but yeah, that's retarded. I mean, you shouldn't be slurping it, You shouldn't be trying to like.
It's good. If it's some good soup, I'm a slurp away, especially if I'm hungry. Grandma Mar says no to AOC. Ronnie Lato says Idiocracy exists, and that's true. Everything exists inside the Matrix. Any other?
Yeah, I'd have a hard time with AOC.
All right, anybody in the chat have any political topics you want us to get into before we move on to crypto and Web3 stuff? I'm trying to think, but I don't have anything off the top of my head, but I could just look at my bookmarks and there's like a million freaking things that have happened. What about Greta Thunberg? You been following the Greta saga?
Yeah, and I don't really know the full context. I saw the video and I saw a whole bunch of talk about it, but it's like, so they kidnapped her and they were like, oh, here's your phone, go post on social media. Or she's out on the boat, they're feeding her sandwiches as she's eating better than me as she's being held hostage. Also in the video, she's like saying she's in international waters, and you can see the shoreline from the video, which clearly means you're not in international waters.
Oh, I think they
um,
actually intercepted her in international waters and towed her to the shoreline. So that part was actually really dicey. They weren't supposed to intercept her in international waters, but it's Israel. They break international law all the time. So I think it was kind of
right.
stupid the whole stunt they tried to prove or they tried to pull. The whole point was to get attention, bring attention to it, and that did work. So, but I think it brought more attention to her. It was more of a vanity thing. It was like 12 celebrities from the Sweden area. I don't know, a bunch of Swedes got into a yacht and sailed over there with a tiny amount of aid just to make a statement. Israel was not having it. They intercepted them. They took them captive. Not really. I think they're gonna probably just deliver them all back home or have a plane come pick them up. I don't think it's as big as a deal as they want it to be. They call it the selfie yacht. Yeah, I don't think it was as successful as they want. Flying back to America. Why would they go to America? What he says, Russia
Probably for
might lose the
another
war.
photo tour or some shit. Like it's
Got to
crazy,
go to
man.
America and walk down the red carpet first. What he
Yeah.
says, Russia might lose the war. I don't know. It was kind of wild to me because Ukraine had that really successful attack on Russia's, I think it was some jets or something. And for some reason, all the right wingers, the Trump, the MAGA people, all got really mad at Ukraine and Zelensky for it. And Trump was like yelling about it. What do you think? Is this a good thing that Ukraine is attacking Russia back? Do you think Russia's going to win this war ultimately, or is it just going to go on forever? I don't know, man.
I think that shit with the cocaine at the meeting over there, and they said like Zelensky was known to get coked up all the time. I think it's got to
Yeah,
be true, bro. I
that
think it
sounds like
has to
some
be true.
right wing
The guy
propaganda.
does a lot of cokehead maneuvers, man. Like,
It's wild because it's all this propaganda is from all from the party that is following the dude who is literally Epstein's best friend. He's like a literal pedophile, and they'll come up with all kinds of crazy stuff that all the Dems are peds and on cocaine. But this dude was literally he's literally a pedophile. He's on camera telling a 10-year-old girl he hopes she will be his girlfriend one day. I could pull the clip up. Stan says, "What kind of drones are the Ukrainians
yeah,
using?"
but one thing doesn't make the other thing not true.
I mean, the fact that he was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend and Epstein's on record saying that they're the best friend and talking about things that happened in the White House, which means that he was still in contact with Jeffrey Epstein while he was in the White House. I mean, it's pretty obvious. He met his wife on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Stan says, "What kind of drones are the
Yeah,
Ukrainians
but what does that have to
using?"
do with Zelensky and his acting, comedy, fucking partying days? I'm just saying. I'm just. It wouldn't strike me as odd for a
Because they
fucking
just come up with
cokehead to
crazy stories
fucking.
all the time, just like they came up with the whole idea of
I don't even think
sending
that was a
national
right
guard
wing.
troops and
I don't think
Marines
that's a
to
right
Los
wing talking
Angeles.
point, though. That was just stuff that was out there for even years on their in their papers and their media. Like, I don't know. And then we
I
saw the video with
don't believe that.
the whole bag and the spoon, which
I thought was Zelensky in that video. I thought that was like
no, he was in
Macron.
that video. But I'm saying like
Okay.
those guys are known too. You know what I mean? Which if
All the
one,
people that Trump hates just happen to be cokeheads. Stan says, Stan the man, my
well, his kids are cokeheads
DJI
too.
can't maneuver. You got a DJI drone? Yeah, it's not gonna work like their drones are not gonna work like commercial drones. They got that high tech, expensive stuff. But apparently they are getting some good stuff, and I don't know if they're getting it from America anymore. Are they building their own drones? That might be something interesting to dig into. Suicidal empathy of the parasitic mind. Sorry, I misspoke. They're flying to America. Oh, it's a Freudian slip. It will never end. They took out 35% of their bombers. Dang, that's a lot. Yeah, and the whole point of that attack was that they didn't tell Trump or America at all ahead of time, even though they've been planning it for over a year. And a lot of people say that's why it's successful. If they would have told Trump, Trump would have told Putin. And I think that's 100% accurate. Let's see. Too profitable. It was like a movie tactic scenario. Trump is everyone's best friend as long as they are stroking his ego. What he says, first time he slept with Melania was on the Lolita Express. That's the Epstein flight. That's a fact. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, when Elon Musk, who definitely had access to the information, comes out and says the reason why the Epstein files are not being released is because Trump is in it, then you know that dude's a pedophile. Denny OC's in the house. What's up, Denny? Good to see you, my man. Yes, the best show on Tuesdays is back for now. We couldn't
Yes,
do last
sir.
week. My son is now playing football, which I don't necessarily approve of. I didn't let him play in middle school or little league because I feel like your brains are still developing. You shouldn't be getting was it CRT? You shouldn't be getting concussions right now. But he demanded that he plays this year, so he's practicing all through the summer. But I did find somebody to take him on Tuesdays. My mom is going to take him to practice on Tuesdays, so me and Mo should still be able to go live on Tuesdays. Sandbox says, "What is worse, using coke or being a pedophile?" Definitely being a pedophile.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
I mean, because I've done
Yeah,
coke.
yeah. Let's not get that twisted. I've only done it once. I thought it was retarded, but
I
I'm
did
gonna
it
try to
once
just
for
smoke
like
weed.
8 days. No, I'm just kidding. It says never done it. I've never done it. I mean, I don't like cocaine. I just like the way it smells. Ahoy, Ronnie.
I just like the way it tasted. We used to go shoot pool and shit, and everyone would be doing fucking lines in the car, and I would like grab the CD case at the end and take my finger and just like grab the freeze or whatever it's called and just rub it on your gums.
Make it go now. Dude, he says all them are all buddies. We ain't in the group chat, but they all are. 100,000% yes.
Oh
CT,
hell yeah!
CT.
I was trying to find this fucking drone video where it was like I think it was a Japanese or Chinese drone where it was like one big ass fucking drone and it was called like a swarm drone.
Like
and it
a
had these
mothership
little
drone too.
yeah, it was a mothership with like these little swarm drones that would come out, bro. They were talking about the capabilities things, and it'll fucking make your head spin.
A lot of people are worried that, I mean, they're using that type of technology not only right now, but also that Trump is bringing all these, which we got to talk about the military parade, bringing all these tanks into Washington, D.C. for this military parade, but that the tanks ain't leaving. Like, this is part of a takeover because this new order that he signed that's associated with the protests in Los Angeles is actually good for any state in the country. So now he can technically bring in military to any state in the country. And there are tons and tons of protests across the country planned for January 14th. I'm sorry, June 14th, the day of his birthday military parade march. So
Saw that, yeah.
I'm afraid that all these people are going to protest and that he's going to be sending in the military to all these protests. I don't know what they're going to do, man, honestly.
Yeah, and it creates a wild picture. I was talking with my homie about martial law not too long ago. Yeah. And it got a little heated, and we're just, I was like, "Well, this has never happened." I mean, not here, but I mean, martial law has happened, and it has happened here. Actually, I think World War II, World War One, but it happens in other parts of the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you see how powerful it can be to keep people indoors and keep people sheltered and have the fear of like losing their lives from walking outside, like that's some crazy shit. So you're not entirely wrong. You're not wrong on that. But again, like, I'm going to say it's in good faith where it's like if there's people that stop in traffic and fucking with people and hitting people and throwing bricks and setting things on fire, then yeah, that probably should get taken care of. But if it's just, and we talk about it, the same thing with like campus protests, right? If you're protesting and you're doing peaceful stuff and you're off on the side, and you're not stopping traffic and getting in people's faces, like, dude, do whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? But the second that you become a nuisance, the same thing with like IRL streaming. If you're out there streaming, minding your own business, whatever. But if you're out there trying to get in people's faces and make fucking nuisance content, you deserve to get punched in the fucking mouth. Like, do the crime, do the time type of shit.
Free speech, man. I don't know about getting punched in the mouth, but the whole standing in the middle of the freeway and stuff.
Freedom of speech does not give you a right to invade people's privacy and start touching people and fucking with people's things, because that is not freedom of speech.
Daniel C says, my kids have been playing football for years now. It's a lot safer. Their pads are a lot better. I've noticed it. How's he liking it? He likes it a lot. They're off today. Ronnie Lotto says, you get CTE from skiing and jet skis. There's some perspective for you. Ooh, I used to jet ski a lot. Maybe that's why I'm so dumb. The man says the F-47 has swarm drone tech when in flight. So that means like the F-40, I feel like that means like the F-47 can act as the mothership, which is crazy if you think about modern warfare. If we were actually in a war, you got an F-47, it's going to fly over you, then all the drones are going to come out of it, do their attacks, and you got your F-47 with the missiles, and the drones go back in. It's wild, man. Look up Chinese drone mothership they're making. Yeah, I kind of.
Hey, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah, I could have sworn I sent you that video, Volt, a few weeks back. But I know we had a little bit of a hiatus and then tech issues, but I remember I saw this and I'm like, dude, Vault would love this freaking video. It was like a whole description, like visualization of, like the mothership with just like opening the fucking bay door and then like, these fucking things just come swarming out, dude. It's so cool.
Somebody send me the link and we'll pull it up. Danielle C says, I've seen more concussions in my daughter's
scary
soccer
as hell.
Having 5 years of my boys' soccer. I mean, I've seen people get their legs broke playing football, and my kid even said I think it was last year, One of his friends went out for the football team and broke his arm on the first day. So Comden is not that safe. I'm still a little worried. Calm down. Al Odin deployed thousands of
To
drones
launch for
from one.
Okay,
China's
there it is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Indiana's the
All
only
right,
safe
bring
haven
it up
from
on
this
here.
madness. If you're in a major city, good luck. Indiana's the only safe haven, bro. This is not a safe haven. I promise you that. You got it.
Yeah, it's there right here. So you got this big ass fucking drone, right? And then the flap just opens up. Look at this. Bro, that is
It's
crazy.
scary. That's why everybody's got to be friends and nice to each other and stop terrifying each other because we don't want to go to war. War is getting crazy. I mean, if
Yeah,
even
you know.
some small country has this type of technology, they're still going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Well, and I think the
Ronnie?
fear has to be like, we know that, you know, these countries don't have, you know, missiles that are capable of reaching us for the most part, but what if their drones and their motherships could get close enough where now they do become a threat? Like, you know, Long Island, we felt pretty safe here, honestly, but the drone mothership comes across the fucking Atlantic and starts
That's
getting
the
within
first place it's
range.
going to be. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's no lie on that, dude. When 9/11 happened, this is no joke. When 9/11 happened, you know, the buildings obviously in Manhattan, everything was focused on that side. But then out here on Long Island, there was actually a lot of us that were worried of being like, yo, what if this is like a full-blown attack? Like, what's gonna be the fucking the place they think is safest to come rolling up on would be like the shore of Long Island out on Montauk. Like, it's so easy to fucking roll up on those shores if they wanted to, you know?
True. Yeah, if it was a big attack, I could see that. I kind of see that being an issue. That's kind of scary. Shout out to Grandma Moore. Thank you for joining the channel, becoming a member, and one of the Omi homies. Don't buy Omi though. Yeah,
No,
but
definitely don't be
thank you
buying
for
on me.
joining. Thank you for joining the Omi homie crew. We appreciate it over here. Ronnie Lido says he's scared about Cleveland for some reason. Why are you scared about Cleveland? That's close to me, and that's where Bone Thugs and Harmony come from, my favorite band. So they're gonna be all right. Not a major city, but it kind of is. It's a big city. Words are words, but physically is physically. Yeah, I don't think you should be touching each other. But this one dude, I guess it was in Texas actually, was during a demonstration over the ICE protests, was just yelling profanities at the cops from a far, far distance. And I think it was National Guardsmen actually that just ran out there and just snatched them up, body slammed them on the ground, and arrested them. And like that's freedom of speech. Like you're allowed to say stuff to the cops, especially when you're that far away. So they're doing some stuff that's unconstitutional at this point. That's not great. Boys football, not
I
soccer.
feel like a lot of it's a
Authenticity.
boiling point.
Oh,
Because when they
boys soccer.
see other shit that's going on, where it's like trucks driving by and just getting fucking bricks and everything else launched at them, these people are like, yeah, they're only like those people probably should be reprimanded. Like you should not be allowed to just
Definitely
go
not.
fucking pick somebody up and body slam somebody for fucking talking. Like you said, freedom of speech. Now,
Well, what do you
unless
think about the if you spit, you get hit?
and if you spit and you get hit, I'm kind of with that one. Not gonna lie,
Only if
because
it's
you
on
spit on
camera,
me,
because they can hit anybody and say, "Oh, well, he spit on me."
yeah, I guess. But for me,
I
going on my own
guess.
morality,
See,
I'm gonna say,
people on the
listen, if
right
you
just
spit
seem
on
like to
me,
be okay with that. I mean, I feel like these are not great people. Like they're gonna just hit anybody they want now and just say, "Oh, well, he spit on me."
like I said, if that became a thing, sure. But if someone spits on me, they're gonna get hit. Like that's just the
That's
way it
true.
goes. You don't fucking spit on me. You don't fucking that's disrespect, bro.
Ronnie
Like,
Lotto says, if I'm striking you, you started it. So he will not hit first. Ronnie Lotto says, let me know when you guys need a young Jamie type guy on your show. Yeah, you gonna pull up stuff for us? Yeah, 100%. Denny OC
yeah,
says,
it is
that
considered
scares the poop out
biological
of me.
warfare. Exactly.
Ronnie Lotto says, AI driven tactical jets already can't be beaten by human pilot, and they're only gonna get better. 100% success rate. Some guys have a boiling point. Not everyone has a long fuse to be patient with. I have a pretty short fuse myself. Spit on me, I'm swinging, says Denny OC. I think everybody's swinging if they get spit on. I'm just afraid that you can't prove that you got spat upon. That's the thing. That gives them the right to beat up anybody they want. And like I said, they deputized a bunch of Proud Boys, in my opinion, a bunch of militia dudes. So I don't want those guys deciding who gets beat up and who doesn't. All the people with blue
No, but
hair
if
are
they're
in
cops or
control.
riot, I mean, they're gonna have their cameras, and I'm pretty sure those Axiom cams are like public fucking accessible. So if they want to know
Yeah,
if they
because
got
like
spit on, they can just go back and look at these video footage and say,
the
well,
National Guardsmen and Marines are not going to have body cams.
they're going in for that situation. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe.
Ronnie Lotto says spitting is considered biological warfare. I know, I agree. But the question is, did they really spit? Once they released the Marines, game over. They already did. I think that's confirmed. The Marines are coming out to LA. Like, it's so unnecessary. What he says, ICE main recruiting pool is Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, 100%. What is Waymo? They kept talking about that at the protest riots. Yeah, so what they did, and of course, this was not a good thing, and nobody agrees with it. And there's always some bad people in every crowd, but a few of the protesters called Waymo, and Waymo are taxis, or like Ubers in Los Angeles that are don't have a driver. They're self-driven taxis. So they called up Waymo and ordered taxis to come to where they were protesting. And when the taxis got there with no driver, because it's a driverless taxi. They set that bad boy on fire. They did it like to three of them. I don't know why. Not cool. I mean, they should find out who did it and arrest them. But I mean, you can't say that now. And what they'll do, and what they have done, is they'll say, "Well, look, all the rioters are all the protesters." Now they're calling them rioters. All the prior protesters are violent and destroying property now because these three Waymos got burned. And it might be just one person who did it, and there might be a person who wasn't even there for the protest who did it on purpose to make the protesters look bad. So people come to these conclusions, and I don't necessarily know if that's really what was going on. You know what I mean? I mean, one of the live streams I was watching yesterday was in Los Angeles. It was last night, and had all these guardsmen out here, and all the protesters. There weren't even that many protesters. Were standing in the back, and nobody was like doing anything. It was all peaceful. And then this truck comes up. Where the traffic was still going through in the background, and it's like a 2025 Ford truck, and there's two dudes in the back, and they've got full face masks on, ski mask on, and you can see their skin. They look pretty freaking white, and they're taking Roman candles and they're shooting them at the cops. And then right after that happens, all the cops start shooting tear gas at them and start attacking people and stuff. And it was clearly these two people, whoever they were, and nobody knows who they were. They're completely masked. It could easily be somebody that the cops purposely told to come there and do that, and so that they can start taking out protesters. So I don't trust anything that's going on right now. It all seems a bit sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell if they. It turns out where like majority of these, protests turn violent, then we might assume not. But yeah, if it's just one and a few of a bunch, yeah, you can't label the whole bunch based on that, you know.
But they do, and they will, and they have that
Well, of
narrative
course
because
they
they
will,
control
because
Twitter. So Danielle C says, "I'm not a cop or a security figure. Me neither. There are self-driving taxis, more than three. Was it more than three?" Danielle C says, "My thing is why they're burning down and wrecking their own neighborhoods. Like, I know, take that to Parliament. I don't know what you mean by Parliament, but yeah, I don't understand why they are throwing stuff at cops, even why they're doing anything to make the protesters look bad. That's why I feel like there's, and it's not all of them, but there's going to be some instigators in there that are there purposely to do things badly to make the protesters look bad so that they create this narrative." Denny says, "I'm all for people speaking their voices, but I ain't for burning cities down." I agree. Grandma says, "I watched some and the protesters, rioters, and they tried to put the police car on fire. It was crazy." I think I saw somewhere where a police car was set on fire. Ronnie Lotto says, "Same mentality as a person that smokes cigarettes. You know it's bad for you. You do it anyways. Then you throw it on the ground because you don't respect yourself to begin with." I don't know if that's why they throw it on the ground. There ain't no ashtrays around, bro. I used to smoke. But I hear you. I hear you.
some places, I mean, yeah, not anymore. There used to be
Yeah, there's
ashtrays on every
definitely no
corner.
ashtrays now. Woody says, "Why is it that government can take
I'm
from
listening, by
poor
the way. I
and
gotta run to the
give to the
bathroom real quick.
rich?" Oh, no problem. Woody, don't get me started, bro. You sure you want to add? Why is it that government can take from the poor and give to the rich, but if the rich get property damage, the world ends? Yeah, they rich have already, since they have control of Congress and their local governments as well. The rich people are able to change the laws up so that they never lose money. Anytime anything happens to them that takes money away from them, they've already put in some kind of backdoor law into place to where they can sue that person, or they can get it from the government, get it as a tax write-off. So the rich people control the government, so they're able to make it to where they never lose their money. And that's how you end up with these people like Donald Trump, who he didn't get rich. His dad got rich, but he kept all that money and he failed over and over and went out of business over and over. He never lost all that money because he's rich and they write the laws. He has it set up to where they're not going to lose their money. So no matter how many times he fails, no matter how many times he takes out a loan and never pays it back, somehow or another he remains rich, and now he gets to control the entire country. Try that. They blocked cops under a bridge throwing scooter. I saw that part. Yeah, people are crazy. They should definitely be arrested. It's not like people are supporting those people. Any opinions on waving Mexican flags during the protest? Stan the man, I think it's kind of wild that everybody's upset about people waving American or Mexican flags during the protests. You go to a Trump rally, you're gonna see people waving Israel flags. You're gonna see people waving Confederate flags. If you go to Mo's neck of the woods, you go down to New York, go around any corner, you're gonna see an Italian restaurant with a bunch of Italian flags everywhere. You're gonna see a Mexican restaurant with Mexican flags everywhere. You're gonna see on the next block they're having a parade for Chinatown, or I mean, everybody waves different flags. It's okay to have pride of the country you're from, even if it was your ancestors who were from there and not you yourself. So I don't have a problem with it personally. I don't understand what the point of it is, though. Whenever you're protesting ICE, I don't really get the connection. Daniel C says when we had the trucker protest here in Canada, there was zero violence till the SWAT came, but they went right to our capital and protested out front of the Parliament buildings. Yeah, I heard a lot about the whole trucker. Weren't they at the border for a while too? The trucker protest in Canada. It does seem like everything's peaceful until the cops show up, and some people like to think that the cops are the ones instigating the violence. It's crazy. I don't know if Mo's back yet, but did you
Sorry,
see?
I'm back. I was listening.
Do you see the Australian reporter who got shot by the police officer there in Los Angeles?
No, what happened there?
What? Oh, this was like super viral. It's crazy how people on the right don't see the same stuff as people on the left. Yeah, so there's a lady who
Again,
was
you'll
from
understand why I don't really even pay attention to shit nowadays, but when we get to the last subject of what you're watching, you'll know exactly why.
okay, my bad. But yeah, a lot of there was a lady who's pretty well-known reporter from Australia, and she came to Los Angeles to cover the protests, and she's sitting there doing a report, and you can see the police in the background. I don't know which police. It might have been CHP, California Highway Patrol. I don't remember exactly which police it was, but they had those plastic bullets that they shoot at protesters, and
Oh, I
they're
talk
all
about
just
the
sitting there
what you
back.
fired a shot behind her or something.
Yeah, they're all sitting there back there in line, and
Yeah,
you can
okay, yeah.
literally see on camera the cop turn directly at the reporter, point it right at her, and shoot her for no reason. She's sitting there making a report, and it went super viral in Australia for sure. It's gone viral, pretty viral over here too. But people in
I just
Australia
see it
are
on my feed. I didn't know she was Australian.
mad. People are mad. All rich people failed dozens of times, says Ronnie Lido. It's the name of the game. It's why I'm poor. I never fail. I always win. The logic in that, it actually kind of makes sense. DLC says nothing was burned, nothing looted, just some trunks honking horns and making a point. Yeah, I mean they're Canadian. Canadians don't commit violence whatsoever. What he says, as Sean Connery said, a little revolution now and then is a healthy thing. A little revolution now. I feel like we need one, but I don't know if I want one. I mean, it's revolutions are messy. Big A says lots of Puerto Rican flags in New York. See what I'm saying? People
Oh yeah.
fly flags to be proud of their heritage. So why is it okay for any other flag to be flown, but as soon as you fly that Mexican flag, now we got a problem? Ronnie Lido says, and when they froze the bank accounts or of even the supporters of the truckers, do they do that in Canada? I hear a lot about people saying that their bank accounts were frozen, but then I never see any proof of it. But Canada is different than America, so I don't know. Grandma Moore says,
Yeah,
"Do you
and that
think
makes you want to keep your mouth shut and just go along with your daily life.
well, this is
Which
a big question?" Mo, Grandma Moore says, "Do you think there's going to be a civil war? Will this cause a civil war?" I think it all comes down to what happens at the end of Trump's term. I mean, is there going to be a civil war if he tries to stay in office? What if he tries to run for election again? But then again, he might be
I
able to
think
win the
Democrats would approve it.
election.
If Democrats
Well,
approve it, they can bring Obama back.
I don't know, man, because I feel like with Trump in office, like he can do things, put things into place where he's kicking people off of the voter rolls, all the right people. Now with Palantir, he knows who to kick off the voter rolls. I think this all comes together with Palantir. They're gonna be rigging the elections, and so, and there's gonna be no way to prove it, but people are gonna get tired of it. They're not gonna believe it anymore, and I could see this leading to a civil war within the next 10 years. Personally, not gonna lie.
I mean, again, I made this joke with my girl, what, 5, 6 years ago. I was like, "Yep, we're pretty much heading toward the Civil War." And at the time, I was making a joke of just like, "Oh, it's gonna be like a North versus South type of deal again," or I was saying like the hip hop battle of like East West. But
Right?
it's like a battle of like ideologies. You know what I mean? Which
How would that even work, man? I mean, last, like you said, there, we had North and we had South. It was easy to divide, and then we had,
right,
I guess, East, West, East Coast, West Coast. But how do you divide this type of civil war? How would that work?
it's hard. It's hard. I mean, you can't even say, okay, if you think that men belong to women's sports and in their bathrooms and all that shit. Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw that. You see that Disney streamer that was going viral,
No.
where it was like some transgender chick or whatever that used to be a dude, and was like just blatantly going out and taking pictures, like rating all the best restrooms at Disney places. That's against the law from the fucking get go. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the second people try to shut it down, like, oh, it's like, you know, they're hating against transgender. It's like, no, you can't take pictures in women's bathrooms, dude. Like, doesn't matter what fucking gender. But anyway, I thought that was weird. Yeah, how do you fucking separate like the whole country based on ideology? I don't know if you can.
It's impossible. I mean,
You
it's
tell
gonna
people
come
like if
down.
you agree with this ideology, you just pack your shit and go to California. Like, is that what we do?
You know, the
And then
MAGA
you
people are
just
just gonna shoot everybody that's brown. Are they not?
nah. I feel at least me and people that I know that are Trump supporters or MAGA. For us, it's like, listen, if you want to do what you do with your life, go ahead. Every single one. There's not a single person that I know that's like, out to like hurt trans people or hurt gay people. Like, we don't care. Just don't fuck with us. And don't fuck with the children. Like, that's my
Everybody
main
agrees with
thing.
that. I agree with that too. Ronnie Lotto
Yeah, I think
says
majority of people do. But
co-
that's what I'm
cops
saying. You have to get people to admit to a lot of shit and then be like, okay, well, that's your ideology, then move. Like, I don't think that works.
Yeah, but
You
whenever
know?
you talk it out and you like bring it, boil it all down to what really matters, it seems like people on the left and the right actually end up agreeing on most of the important stuff, which is like wildest thing of it all. Ronnie Lido says cops instigate stuff all the time for sure, but this is not that right now. I agree. Well, like I said, the what I was watching last night, whoever those two guys in that truck were instigated, but who were they with? I don't necessarily know that they were with the protesters. I don't think they were personally. I guess I'm a conspiracy theorist. Ronnie Lido does not believe there will be a
I
civil
think
war. I
you are
hope
more
not.
than me when the more we talk, but I'm
It's
definitely more out
possible.
there with like the the aliens fucking conspiracies, but holy
I'm in
shit.
political conspiracies now just because the Republicans are in power, but when
No, I
the
know. I
Democrats are
know,
in
I know.
power, not so much. Ronnie Lido says, but it
No, but
depends
you're
on your
not wrong
perspective.
though. But listen, you're not wrong. And I'm
Yeah,
saying, but the fact that it's just like, oh well, we'll have an incident where it was a guy, two guys in a truck and we don't know who they're with.
right, right.
Unless it becomes like a common event where it's like, 60% of all these protests or whatever turn into violence and all these people are we could find a common theme, maybe, you know? That's why I said earlier, you can't just paint everybody out based on one incident or, you know.
I do like the fact that Trump is saying now that everybody has to take their masks off at protests. I mean, I don't know if I like that or not. I mean, I like that because I think it'll call out the provocateurs, but
Yeah.
also I'm afraid that people at protests or will be afraid to go there because, they got cameras and stuff. People are going to see it and then post it on social media and they might lose their job because of it or they might get harassed for it or who knows what type of things that the administration themselves will do to people that they found out were at the protests.
So this
So
happened during COVID, and I used to crack jokes about it, but, back in the day, right? You couldn't go into a store with a mask on. Like,
oh
if you had
yeah,
like a bandana over your face, or they wanted to see your face because you're gonna fucking rob the place. You know what I mean?
wanted to be
But
on
then
camera.
COVID, yeah, but then COVID happened, and like you had to wear a mask to go in places, or they'd fucking look at you funny, or they'd tell you to get out and play Karen, right?
Right.
But I always said to my girl, I'm like, this is gonna blow up in people's faces because now people are gonna get comfortable to wearing masks, where people aren't gonna want to tell people to take their masks off, and then the people that are out to do harm to people are like, oh, well, now I can just wear a mask and rob the place. Now I can just wear a mask and stab somebody because they want me to wear my mask because of COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now you're seeing the pendulum swing back the other way, where it's like, I see signs up where it's like, must take off sunglasses and masks before entering store. You know what I'm saying? Like, now people are starting to swing back the other way because probably what Trump's saying. He's like, listen, if people are going to pull this shit, we need to see who they are. You know?
Right, but protesting though, I mean, I agree with that when it goes in when it's going into a public business. But when you're going to a protest, should you have to show who you are at the
Sure.
protest?
Sure.
Well,
If you're protesting and you're peacefully protesting, which is what we're supposed to be doing, right? Or else it's a crime. Then yeah, why not? Like if I believe in something, I'm going to tell people I believe in. I want them to see me. Sure.
yeah, I'm okay with it until there starts to be revenge taken on the people that were at the protest. Then we got to rethink it. Ronnie Lotto says it depends on your perspective on the world. You
But then they're
could.
breaking the law. Then those people should be held accountable for breaking the law. That's what I'm saying. If we all just have a healthy moral compass and we fucking hold ourselves accountable and don't break the law. But see, again, this is my mind. I know the world doesn't work this way, right? But this is how my dad, raised me. Do whatever the hell you want, as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or fattening. That was, the motto. And the fattening is a joke. But,
Good words to live by.
well, listen, like that created a good moral compass, and me and pretty much all my friends and my girlfriend all share that same common bond. Like, I don't hang out with scumbags, dude,
Daniel C says, I know people who had their accounts frozen just for sharing shit on Facebook. It got crazy. I think that's like a Canada thing. And it's not just Canada, like Britain got really bad with it. I think there's some right wing dude, I don't know his name, but he's arrested right now just for some stuff that he tweeted in Britain. And he's been in jail for like 6 months. They're all saying, like, free this guy. I don't know his name. Ronnie Lotto says, unless they
and they
use the
say
time
America's
machine.
bad.
To me,
Like, imagine these protests or these, yeah, I'll call them a protest, where they're burning flags and they're setting shit on fire. Imagine if they went into Mexico and did this shit. They would be annihilated. The fucking cartel would
I
fucking
don't know about
obliterate
that.
them. The
Well, maybe
fucking
if they did
government
it
would
in the
come
car,
in.
but not in Mexico City. I mean, they have freedom of speech there. I don't know about burning the flag. Everybody's different on that, but there are other countries
Yeah,
with freedom of speech and freedom of things like that. I mean, we're not the only country that has freedom.
I know, but I feel like, when you go to these other countries, you hear about people being oppressed so much more. And even
Some
after
of them,
like Trump won and people were like moving, I've seen so many videos. I know it's anecdotal. If I look for them, I'll find them of just people being like, "I have to come back. Like, I have to get back to America. I miss fucking clean water. I miss plumbing. I miss fucking Chick-fil-A. Like,
yeah, if they're moving to a third world country, I'm sure. Ronaldo says, unless they use that time machine to need a third term for the timeline not to end, like in the show The Lazarus Project. That is a good show. I've seen a couple episodes. Let's see. I might have lost where I was at. Somebody said data is king. Stan the Man said there's a digital doppelganger of us all. A digital doppelganger? You mean like an AI? They've already created AIs of all of us. I would be easy to create an AI because I have this channel. So if they ever want to copy me, I could
they
just
got thousands of hours of fucking content to just grab you
no
from. Yep.
problem. Yeah, yeah. Daniel Caesar, I think it's a set design to always have a certain level of civil war constantly. I mean, they always want to pit us against each other. That's for sure. That's by design. I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
they
of
want to get
course.
this bad though, but maybe they do. They like I've
Well, it's
always said.
divide and conquer. Divide and conquer, man. It's like it works in war. It works in fucking society. Like
Well,
it's
it's a problem with the way that these rich people get what they want. They use social issues that they know will divide us in order to get people to vote for their economic issues, which make them richer. But the social issues they use, I mean, they're dividing us too much with it. And people get really brainwashed, I think, over there on the right. Like you said, the first thing that you said was about having people born as men in women's sports, but a poll shows that 67% of people who voted for Kamala Harris are against having people who are born as men compete in women's sports, including myself. So it's kind of this manufactured argument here, trying
no,
to
it's
put
not because
how the,
they tried to push it through. That would make it easier for that to happen and for people to transition at a young age. Like no, that's definitely not true.
that's all on a state level. Not nothing there's federal. So
Mm,
that depends on what
you telling
state
me there's no
who
coercion
you're
there?
electing.
I don't
I
know
mean,
about that.
Kamala
I'm
Harris
just
didn't talk
saying.
about it at all when running for president. She didn't mention it one time.
Oh,
But
she
yet
didn't
that
sit
was the
down,
number
always
one.
open up early on and be like, I'm Kamala Harris. I identify as he or her, she. It's like, bro, it's like, listen, she felt like she had to lean into that weird identity politics and it didn't work. Because again, she was wrong because she thought that's what she had to do to win. And maybe, Walls felt the same way, but that was not the case. And like I said, your data just proved it. Like she didn't have to fucking play that card. And they didn't have to worry about, undermining, what was it, Title 11 or whatever the thing is for college women. Like, they didn't have to worry about undermining that with any sort of legislation. Like, she didn't have to really even worry about it. Apparently, if Democrats didn't really care about it. But they sure as hell made it seem like it.
Yeah, well,
And that's
I
not
don't
even from
think
the
they're the
right.
ones that made it. I think the people on the right are the ones that want that to be a narrative that gets talked about a lot. People on the left don't care about it as much, but
But
they
the
are
left
all
had to.
pinned on to having the same
Eh,
opinion on it when that's not even true, when it's the minority that have that opinion.
but the
I mean,
left
just
had
because,
so many opportunities to shut it down fucking point blank, and they just decided to fucking roll with it because they thought it might help them win the election. Like, well, I don't want to, start talking badly about the transgenders because they have feelings and, they play they play the card. It didn't work. It didn't work. And that's why you had so many of these, blue haired, fucking nose pierced fucking people on TikTok crying after fucking Trump won because they felt that they were threatened. Guess what? Their lives aren't any worse right now than it was back then. And it's kind of weird that back then you had all these people that were like, oh, I'm gay, I'm this, that, and the other. And now it's like, oh, they're all straight again. The fuck is up with that? Like,
what? You
yeah.
lost me, bro. You
Demi
lost me like three
Lovato, JoJo
sentences ago.
Siwa, Billie
Oh,
Eilish. I mean, we're talking three people that were
oh.
so big on gay and trans fucking stuff. And now it's just like, oh no, we're back to dating men, fucking men. Like, kind of
Hey,
weird.
you get that
So
D,
there,
sometimes you can't go back.
what's that?
So you get the right D, sometimes you can't go back. Right, Lionel says, who knows how many, yeah, provocateurs. Exactly. There's always these period nowadays. I guarantee there's tons of provocateurs that are hired by the other side on both sides. And that's why you can't really trust your own eyes, unfortunately. Anyone remember a lovely movie named is for Vendetta? Yes, I love that movie.
I just
Exactly
saw
on
another
on
thing come out,
Halloween.
and we talked about this. Sorry, because we can't trust Fox, we can't trust CNN, right?
Right.
They're all biased.
I agree.
Everyone just keeps saying now, like live streams. If you want to trust it and you want to see it, people are just going to start live. Like even like big reporters and big people are going to be out there just live streaming. If you don't want to believe, like you said, believe your eyes, right?
Yep.
They're in
Absolutely.
live streams.
That's
It's
what I did
not
all
edited.
weekend was watching whenever I wanted to see what was going on in LA, I went to the live streams.
Now, the only thing
That's the
about the
real.
live streams you have to worry about is what you were talking about earlier, whereas you don't know if there's paid actors involved. Because you could do a live stream and you could say, okay, I'll be live for 47 minutes, and you come walking by and it's like a
True.
script now. Now it becomes content, and
Oh,
we don't know if we can
brother.
trust the content. So,
Don't put that thought
but
in my mind now. Every time when somebody pops in on a live stream, I'm gonna be like, is he supposed to be there? All right, let me catch up with the chat. Ronnie Letta says, anyone see those awesome cheap clothes masks? Oh, the cloth masks that change your face good enough to look like someone else. I've been seeing them for a while. They just keep getting better and better. So I mean, that's another thing for that provocateurs could be using. They could just use one of those masks to make it look like they're a whole different race. And I don't know, man. And I'm sure they do it. I don't know where you get those masks at though. I kind of want to get one and try it on. What he says, and we pay them is 100% accurate. Great for cameras. This is a country built on laws, period. They're the holy grail of the society. Want to stay in this country, abide like I do. And yet, the person who is our president was convicted of 34 felonies. So it doesn't make sense. You know how many things my brain comes up with that would be a crime every second of the day? Staying out of jail is why I don't do them. Bro, what you thinking about? What are you thinking about every second of the day that would be a crime?
well, thinking of a crime isn't, because I
No,
know
I
people
know,
had this
but
discussion too of like, are you morally a bad person if you think about, killing somebody? No, of course not, because everyone has these thoughts of like dark shit. The differences are the ones that can actually not act on them and realize that they're bad. You know,
right. What he says, water is not as clean as it was a year ago. Too many regulation rollbacks. Elon polluting Memphis. Yeah, I heard about Elon's factory in Memphis was polluting the water, which not super surprising there. Water not as clean as it was a year ago. I want to see what happens with the whole taking the fluoride out of the water. I don't know if that's official now, but RFK says that's what we're doing. And I don't know if I agree with it or not. I need more information about it. I've heard the good and the bad. Stan says population control. Yeah,
I
it's
think.
coming.
Sorry, I think the problem with just the fluoride stuff and even making these big changes on health in general, it's going to be such a shock to some of these fucking younger kid systems that have been pampered with fucking like air purifiers and all sorts of crazy shit and fucking gloves. Like their bodies might not be able to fucking take it. Where I feel like people like us who grew up, breathing in fucking dust. We used to walk through the fucking creek, fucking barefoot, getting sliced up by, we never
True.
batted an eyelash. We fucking
Yeah.
built up immunities to all sorts of crazy shit, But these kids don't
Yeah.
have it nowadays. They just don't. I
You
remember when I
see,
worked on, again, anecdotal, I know probably right, BK, but I worked at, for the Electrolux vacuum company. and they sold, air purifiers and all this stuff, right? And I just always thought it was funny of like the demographic and the type of people that were always, either installing them or servicing them. I'm like, yeah, people from my neighborhood wouldn't have this shit. Like,
What kind of
we
people do
just
you?
either like the overprotective or the really rich that feel like, oh, I have money, so I deserve to live forever, so I'm gonna make sure my kid never breathes in a fucking ounce of dust. But guess what? Then when the kid gets to the real world where they're not
Right.
protected, they're gonna get exposed to it and not gonna be able to fucking handle it, and that becomes the problem. So my opinion. I could be wrong, but
Let's see. Woody says, don't forget Vance and MTG boyfriend switched back. JD Vance and Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend switched back. I didn't hear about that. I want more info. Ronnie Lotto says, Black Rock, Vanguard, and State Street don't have a side to choose from other than their own. Stealing, fighting all day. I don't act on them. Also, that's what he's thinking about. Rob T says, be careful, YouTube guy. I've heard about this. Shot a rival YouTuber and his wife on the Vegas
yeah,
Strip the other day during a live stream.
yep,
What?
yep. And
I heard a little
apparently
bit
this
about
dude
it.
was on the way, like telling the other streamer, he told him he was on his way, is like, I'm dying to meet you, it's gonna be a killer time. Like, yeah, apparently he was like foreshadowing the fuck, he was streaming himself on the way in, apparently talking about this shit. It was like streaming premeditation of the fucking murder. Yeah, it's crazy what people do.
That's craziness. And a few other
This is what I
ladies
tell
who
you is
get
a problem with
shot by
society.
that.
Like, when, chicks getting raped on the fucking train in the city now, back when I was growing up, you had a small set of people that were like, I'm stepping in. I'm getting involved. Like, I ain't gonna let this happen in front of me, Yeah,
They
you have to
should.
worry about getting stabbed, worry about getting shot. You always have. But now it's like people are so fucking crazy. Most people won't even attempt to intervene.
They will pull out their
Or they're
phones.
too busy and they don't even want to call the cops. Or they're the real degenerate fucking subset of people and they pull out their phones and make content to get fucking viral clicks out of it. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, apparently, like Ronnie Lido said, there's a couple ladies who were also shot during live streams. Apparently, live streaming is becoming a dangerous profession. Rob T says, in
Well,
front of the Bellagio. Ooh, I was there too. I got a picture in front of the Bellagio fountain.
it's always been dangerous. But the problem is that when people get too comfortable, like, all right, for instance, I watched the pioneers of IRL streaming. Ice Poseidon, Summit 1G used to do fucking like mobile Pokemon streams. My boy fucking Deadpool he plays, a boxing, you might know him as. He used to
Yeah.
do a lot of IRL. And the biggest thing back then was being discreet. Like, you didn't film the road you were on, you didn't film the restaurant you were at. Because if you did, there was going to be bomb scares get called in. There'd be people that came to fuck with you. So people used to hide it. But now, people think like, oh, it's just, I'm a streamer, so that's what I do. And they expose every single fucking place they're at. There are some people that do like IRL maps with GPS fucking location. Those people are crazy. There was also the other chick that was like a hairstylist. She got shot from some motorcycle. It was like an ex-boyfriend or something. But yeah,
especially
while
if
she
you're a
was
girl, I
streaming.
definitely would be doing that. That's craziness.
But she was
Stan
working
says,
while streaming in her fucking place of business, and just you saw her make the look, and she looks over right before she gets fucking shot and killed. I couldn't watch the video of her getting killed, but yeah, she gets fucking shot and killed on her live stream.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch it either. I mean, I'm curious. Like, Rob T says you can watch the video. I'm curious, but then again, I don't want to see it. Let's see. Stan
Yeah, I
says,
can't
does
watch that
OG
stuff.
have rivals? I do have rivals. Like David Yu, he might come to my house during a live stream. No, I'm scared. But he says the biggest problem with changing everything is you can't measure changes or assign reasoning. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but maybe just in general. Not in real time, you can't. It takes years to, oh, y'all are talking, see what the outcomes are. Typically, they used to dress in drag with the people who got shot, especially you'll only get stabbed by his. Okay, I gotta quit reading these out loud. Sin City, many shots, Funny the Legend. Finney the Legend, I think were their names. I don't know, Finney. Well played by the tech bros, the ones that are typically longing for connections. You can't really see the guy getting shot. You see the shooter in the words. I might check it out then. If I can't see the bullets going to the body, because I feel like I'd have nightmares about it. But Mo, what did you want to talk about when it comes to Web3 gaming? I don't think you had a particular game to talk about this week.
No particular games, but did have some data. I like my data. Let's see. Go here, maybe. Like that. Maybe we go like this. There we go. I mean, the reason why I'm not finding so many and I'm just not going to put money into any of these is because, dude, they're all just shutting down. Like, you get fucking hooked. It's like, oh, buy a founder's pass, get fucking access to buy land early. It's a cute kitten. You know, or, you know, stake the land away. We'll give you a fucking, you know, token drop or whatever. But then what happens is, like, they shadow drop things. They don't even tell people what the fuck is going on. They tell you you're getting a certain amount, but you only get 10% in your wallet. And then you try to get fucking answers from people, and it's like crickets. And then what happens is you get, and again, some of these aren't even titles that, you know, we would probably play, but some of the bigger ones, like Nine Heroes, Blast Royale, Rumble Kong League, combined, they raised over like 22 mil. I had a list up here. So you had like Ember Sword, which was one of the bigger ones that closed down. And this is like within like the past 90 days.
Jeez.
They raised 18 mil. Tatsu Chemo, I don't know what the hell that is, but they raised 7.5 mil. Ceased development after 8 playtests. That money disappeared. But yeah, I mean, dude, there's just so many. And that's why when I look at like what I play, I wonder if they're gonna last. Like, I log in, sometimes I farm and I try to get the NFTs, but they're not worth anything. No one's buying this shit. Like, you know what I mean? I said it early on and I didn't believe it, but as a gamer, I was like, I don't think people are really going to give a shit about NFT gaming. They just want a game. They just want a game. They don't care about making money. If they cared about making money, they wouldn't be a gamer and they'd have a fucking job where they're making money. And the more games I play, the more I think that's true. Now, there's some games like PFL, where PFL isn't really like a video game. It's more of like a strategy simulation, you know, put your fucking moves together, your breeding plans, and then learn how to race. Like, it is Web3 gaming, but it isn't, you know? Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, and I'm looking at new games. I'm like, what could we talk about? But then I think about, am I going to talk about a game that maybe, you know, somebody watching is going to go and look at it and be like, oh, well, if Mo and Vault are talking about it, and I know Mo's made some money before, and Vault's made some money, like, I'll put some, I don't want these fucking people doing that, you know? I just don't want to do wrong by the people that tune in. So, this week, yeah, we'll talk about games closing down and being careful, and I think from now on, I'm just going to get in phase 2 on every fucking game. Fuck the Founders Pass.
You make the most money in phase 1 by getting in early, but the chances that the one you got in early is really going to hit are so slim that it probably makes sense to wait till phase 2.
Yeah, but I think we've been around long enough, seeing market trends, and especially like with me with gaming, understanding how the gaming trends work. Like, I can still make money. You know, do I need to make the 1000x? No, it would be great. But hey, if I can make a smart 250x because I, you know, paid attention to the fucking telltale signs and got in on a healthy game, I think that's the move. Now, I don't know what games are like that, because I mean, Doc's game got shut down. That
I mean,
other,
if you do, I would say get out early because, like you said, all these games are getting shut down anyway. But there's still the AAA games, like Off the Grid ain't going nowhere, right?
well, yeah, okay, so there are a few, and again, but everyone that I watch talk about Off the Grid or playing Off the Grid, they don't even talk about the NFTs. They're all just like, oh, I'm having fun winning the game, like shooting people in the face, like. Yeah, and it's good because at least people are playing a good game for a gaming purpose, right?
Yeah.
But they're not out there chasing the NFTs. So again, I don't know if it's going to drive the game because of the NFTs. I do think a good game could make money, sure. But yeah, and I think Off the Grid is, honestly, probably the only one, dude. Probably the only fucking game. I know we talked about that other game that, you know, Mapleverse or whatever, but like, it's region locked. It's really not something that most gamers would play. It's something that most like weebs and what they called uwu fucking lovers would play. I don't know too much about the uwu community, but when I try to play these games and it's like instantly region locked, instantly can't withdraw. Like, bro, you want to see the biggest bullshit? I'll bring it up live on stream. Look, watch this.
Shout out to Michael James in the chat. Good to see my man.
Live on stream. Look at this. Oh, I just can't see that. No, well, yeah, I'll make it. No, can't make it big enough so you see my balance. Oh well. Basically, so this was the game that I bought the land a while back. Yeah, here we go. So the game was World Shards, right?
Hmm.
So bought the land on here for what, 1,700? Because like, oh, this game's hype. It's got a shit ton of player base. Blah 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 blah. Bought the legendary land. Shit skyrocketed to like 3,500. I sold out at like 3,000. Bought a purple land so I could still play the game, which is like one step down in rarity. So I'm basically playing for free.
Nice.
$1,700 in my fucking balance, right? This could pay my rent and everything this month, and I'm struggling for money right now. This could pay my fucking bills, but check this out. Boom. Withdraw. Not available in your location. Guess what? These motherfuckers had no problem taking my fucking money out of PayPal when I wanted to
Yeah.
fucking deposit.
Did they tell you ahead of time that you wouldn't be able to withdraw?
Nope.
Oh,
Not until I made the sales, did all the bullshit, and it's just like USDC transactions are not available yet in New York, Hawaii, Minnesota, and Alaska. So 4 out of 50,
yeah.
and as usual, I live in one where you can't. Now, there's ways around this. I could talk to someone that also uses this marketplace. I could move them the NFT. That doesn't live in one of these 4 states. They could sell it. But honestly, if they flag both of our accounts, we could both get banned. And then I'm screwed because I have like $2,000-$3,000 in assets that I can no longer do shit with if my account gets banned. But in the meantime, I have $1,772 fucking just sitting here frozen.
Man. Yeah.
So
I'll be
again,
upset too,
you know,
100%.
the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking, it's wild.
Can't ban New York as a main hub of players, of gamers. Let me catch up with the chat and then
Yep, sorry. That was a
talk
long
about
Web3 rant.
sorry. We'll talk about Vivi a little bit before we end. Let me know in the chat too what's going on in
We also got to
Vivi.
talk about this.
I don't know much about it. Let's see. Where was I at? I wanted to comment on this. Rob T says new kitten vault looks small. Yes, new kittens like always. We had 5 kittens. I was able to find homes for 2 of them, but then I got 3 more that I can't find homes for. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to have to send them to the pound where they have to live in a cage, but I can't keep them. And then one of them was like super. I'm gonna name it Shadow because it just follows me everywhere I go. I got 4 of my cats fixed so far, so we're getting through them. Ronnie Little says a very small percentage of games nowadays last, and they're typically not new games. It's all revamped stuff. That's true. But in Web3, man, I
Not
feel like
necessarily, though. Because again, some of the biggest games,
off
quite
the
some
grid.
time now.
Yeah.
Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. I mean, these games that have been around, basic fucking games, but they constantly fucking do more content. You know, Roblox actually just came out with some can't play Roblox at my age, but you know, they came out with some crazy shit that's like apparently like revolutionizing like the space of the game. I'm like, sounds
I'll
cool.
have to ask my kid about that. He plays Roblox
Yeah.
all the time. Ronnie Lido says gambling will always prosper. Oldest profession aside from prostitution. All life on earth is designed to gamble to survive. Yeah. Shout out to Michael James. Ronnie says I need to make $500 a month at least with artwork right now, or I have to get a real job again soon after 13 years of not needing one. 500 a month. Have you tried selling your artwork online? I'm sure you have, but have you tried like on eBay and stuff? People like that kind of stuff on eBay if you can market it right. What he says, waiting on that Marvel Mighty game, bro. That's never happening. Big A says, isn't that the best thing? People are excited with how good the game is. Yeah, as long as it's good, get into it early. But I mean, if the dev team isn't going to use that money that they have made from the pre-sales and from their community on making the game better, then everybody is just getting rugged. It's just a slow rug. Off the grid might
Well,
make it through the test of time, says Ronnie Lido, maybe.
well, I agree, and I agree with Big A's point too. Like the fact that people are excited about the game on Off the Grid is important. But I don't think that does anything really to drive the value of like NFT gaming, because you don't have to fucking go the NFT route. The only way you could really force people to, you know, or force the prices and manipulate them is to make it so if you don't have NFTs, you're like at a disadvantage. But then you have the pay to win argument of like, well, we don't want gaming to be like that. So it's like, how do you just, I'm saying, how do you find a healthy balance of driving prices for NFTs and making it worth it?
I won't even be worried about it right now. I think it's just a slow drip of this technology. Right now, just let it drip in. Don't even promote or anything. People are going to start making
Well,
money on their own from the NFTs. They'll start to understand about it more. And then the next game and the next game that's good that has NFTs in it. Then, like it's a slow introduction to Web3.
Right, but then you have the expectations, and when people have expectations, it turns into shit like pumped out fun, where it's like you have the formula, so the formula no longer works, right?
Right.
And right, so what would have to happen? But I guess what I would think is you can make NFT gaming irrelevant by making it to, like, for instance, Off the Grid. They came out with like these all-star NFTs, where like if you watched a Twitch broadcast and then logged in, you were able to get like a really scarce drop that not everybody was even aware you can get. So stuff like that is going to be worth a shit ton of money. And it should be worth a shit ton of money, in my opinion, right? So you have to have like the rare diamonds, right? The rare gems in the ecosystem that help drive the trickle. So like nobody really gives a shit about the sniper rifle, even if you have mint number 10, because there's a fucking million sniper rifles.
Right.
But if there's only, let's say, 500, there's only 500 of these all-star fucking shirts, and it doesn't even matter the number, but the fact that there's only 500 made ever, those should be worth money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what should drive the value, is like the scarcity, and not just...
The gamers have to understand that it's going to take them a while to adapt to that.
Well, they'll understand it, because the same way, like, when they play Fortnite, and it's, you know, it used to be whatever, every couple days the store would update. Now I think it's every day. But it used to be like you log on 7:30, the fucking clock would tick over, the store would have new items, and the first game you played, you get shot by like some new skin you've never seen before.
Right.
And you're like, oh shit, what's that? Oh, I gotta go check the store. Yep. Now, if you start getting shot by some crazy fucking shirt or some uniform you've never seen before, but the minimum fucking floor price is $1,000. Now you start to drive it. It has nothing to do with NFTs, nothing to do with the, you know, the gaming value of it, but everything to do with scarcity. Right. And that's what I think should have to happen for like Off the Grid and these other games to succeed. Not every NFT should be worth money. Not every fucking drop should be worth, you know, trying to stack and fucking flip.
Makes sense.
Correct. Exactly.
Rob T says, Vault, we need to pump this VV Goldmon to the moon. Dances is going to be the first Shopify item sold. I don't know about the second sentence, but the first sentence is accurate. That VV Goldmon, if you don't have one yet, you should especially buy a special edition one. Mint number 9 is on the board. Pick it up. It's, I guess it's one that me and Rob T both have. I'm still holding mine right now. I need to get a good price for it. Ronnie Lido says, what about the talk about them saying all crypto-based stuff should be decentralized, period? Not sure if that ever progressed after a couple of days ago. Is that a VV thing? I know people were saying that. Well, the crazy thing about VV now is that they made an announcement that they're now going to be moving all the NFTs on chain, Mo, which means they weren't on chain before.
But what about the Go chain data and all that?
Yeah, I mean, they said if they're moving them on chain, maybe they just said it wrong, because if they're moving,
what about the IMX? Remember all the other lies they told us?
That means they were never on chain. That means they're not first appearances on chain. I don't know if people in the community are upset about it. I only really follow the fudders at this point. Everybody else has blocked me, so I don't necessarily know if they're worried about that as well, but it seems like a contradiction. Rob T says, name the kitten Halliburton, Pascal, and Tim Hart, and post them for adoption tomorrow night when you sit next to Pat McAfee during the game. I like that idea, though. Put them up with those names, and Pacers fans can adopt them. That's my point. Those are all old. They'll be worth it once the youngest generation right now becomes 30. I mean, it's the same way with baseball cards. That's why VV makes a little bit of sense, even though I dislike them. So by the time we're all about 67, will it be worth something? Hopefully. That's the plan, unless you put them in your tire spokes. Sorry, that's an old baseball card joke. Denny OC says,
imagine now you put your iPhone in between the tire spokes.
Well, back in the day, all the old men say that they had the Mickey Mantle rookie and they had the Hank Aaron rookie, but they put it in their titles and their tire spokes to make their bicycles sound like a motorcycle when they drove. And now they're worth.
We used to do that too, but not with Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, Denny OC says, I'm all for limited supplies as long as they don't affect stats to an unfair advantage. Yeah, we don't want pay to win. I don't like that idea at all. Although it is kind of like that in horse racing, but that's kind of, it's a simulation game. It's a little different. Ronnie Lido says, like in Call of Duty recently, they were selling TMNT skins to play with. Very cool, but not an NFT, but it could be an NFT. And yeah, I've shot a couple of those TMT guys recently myself. Ronnie says, I want to be my Ronnie Lido character every game I go play in the future. They need that for games. That's called interoperability. I've always said that eventually everything will be interoperable. I don't know if it's true, but I feel like that's where we're headed. I bought the RAF.
Oh, I think you're right.
Splinter skins. Yeah, I think so.
You're right. I think most of the people argue that like companies like Coke and Pepsi would never work together. But I think that's bullshit. If you put Coke and Pepsi in an arena. Put Coke and Pepsi in an arena with other companies and like, well, the enemy of the enemy is my friend.
Right.
So it's like now you start to like understand that there are ways you can help each other out to drive both of your businesses, right? Competition sparks innovation and stuff like that. So, you know, I think it's a good idea. And we've actually seen a whole bunch of game collaborations lately where people are like, oh, wow, I never saw that collaboration coming. Because trust me, people know you got to collaborate, you know, if you want to stick around.
Yeah. It's innovation. Then he said, I bought the Raphael and Splinter skins. I've not seen a Splinter skin. I didn't know that was a thing. It was a Congress thing. The all crypto stuff should be made. It was a Congress thing saying that everything should be decentralized by law. I don't know. I feel like that's opens the door for a lot of scammers and fraud. Big A says biggest threat to VV is that if it ever takes off, the IP isn't exclusive. Epic Games could launch a digital collectible platform and eliminate VV overnight, and their whole claim to fame would be first on the blockchain. But now they're not even on the blockchain, so yeah, I know. It's all about being collectibles in the future and expecting that NFTs in general will have its own collector's base. Cecil says, does anyone own that VB crypto card / wallet? The Comey Secure wallet? I gave away one during a live stream last year, I think, and Dr. Strange won it over there in New York. So he's got one, but I've never had one. They were always sold out. I tried to get one when I first got into VV, but it was always like, oh, they'll be ready in 6 months. They'll be ready in 3 months. They were never ready. They were always pre-ordered. Somebody would buy them all, but as soon as they were ready, they'd be sold out again. It's like a VV drop. You cannot get one. Ronnie says the name Coca-Cola comes from cocaine. The name Pepsi comes from the word dyspepsia, which means indigestion. Oh. Man, Ronnie Leno got the alpha for us. I knew about the cocaine part, though. I always said they did the throwback Mountain Dew with the sugar. When you gonna bring us the throwback Coca-Cola with the cocaine?
Trump could do that.
Trump probably would.
You could have one of his sons fucking take care of it. They'd be all over it.
So I've been waiting all the last 2 hours to find out what it is that's been taking up all your attention the last week. What have you been watching, Mo?
Okay. So couldn't figure out what to watch. And there's a couple shows when I start watching them, I really just dive in like I'm lost. Like I'm out there. And the show is Lost. Now, I've seen Lost before. I've watched it. Loved it. Not saying I love the end of it. Not going to spoil it for anybody that might want.
2 seasons, just for context.
Yeah, phenomenal show. It starts off like Lord of the Flies. You know, they're out in the jungle trying to fight against the others and the people that are, you know, native to the island. Then it moves into like this hatch military operation. Then it turns into like time travel and like all sorts of crazy shit. So it's 7 seasons. I think I started up about a week ago. Dude, I'm in season 5 already.
Oh wow.
And if I'm awake, I'm binging it. Like, bro, I'm on the island, dude. I fucking love that show. Oh, dude, I love Lost. It's such a good show.
Man, the smoke monster lost me, man. When the smoke monster came out and there was no explanation for it and they just moved on without it, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
I mean, but again, continue to watch, and there is lore behind that smoke monster, and there is a very valid reason why it's there. Okay. And again, so the show, what I love about Lost, it's a show that tests morality. It tests people's faith. It tests people's like ability to work in like teams and not fuck other people over.
Right.
But the funny part of the show is that for 4 seasons, I think 4, maybe a little less than 4, it's always the same thing. It's like they're out doing something, somebody's running to the beach. They're out doing something, someone's running to, you know, the compound. Like it's just always they're chill, there's conflict, there's chill, there's conflict. Like there's not much resolution on the show until, you know, you start to weave your way to the end. And that show does get crazy. Now, the writer's strike fucked with it. I remember that real time when it happened. That show really got fucked with from the writer's strike. It was actually when... Yeah, it was actually when TV shows went down to like 13 episodes. Down from 23, 24. That's kind of what hurt Lost a little bit. What show did you watch that was affected?
Heroes.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yes, I remember that. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. To me, Lost is one of them shows where it's like, you could find a character that you absolutely love no matter what. Whether it's You like someone who's a jokester, you like the serious leader, you like the sarcastic fucking, schemer, scam artist type of guy, you like the military fucking, badass, you like the scientist, you like the pretty girl. It's just, I don't know. I think it's probably one of the best shows ever made. And just like Game of Thrones, people hated how they wrapped it up. I'm not gonna spoil it, and I actually don't even remember it. Like, I remember kind of the gist of it, but as I watched the show back, I'm like, oh, I don't remember this part of the story. I'm like, oh shit, that makes way more sense now that I already kind of know what happened. Because they were, foreshadowing so much that you just don't even know. But they really do a good job, man. And if you watched, 2 seasons, I'd start from season 1 right on the plane and just
Yeah, I could
fucking
see
dive
myself
in,
going
bro.
back and watching it again. If I did, I'd have to start from the beginning to refresh everything.
Yep.
Let's see what the people in the chat are watching. Let us know too in the chat what y'all been watching on TV recently this last week. Ronnie says the rehearsal is genius. I'm not sure what that is. I think I might have seen a preview for that. Just finished the second season and now watching Nathan for You. Another one I've never seen. Never watched one episode of Lost. Then you won't be lost. Then you're found.
Yeah.
What he says, I finally started watching Lost. Small World, made it to season 5. I think I'm done. But you gotta watch it till the end, though. I don't know. There's 7 seasons. If you went 5 in and there's 7 seasons,
Well,
I think,
so here's the thing. If you make it to season 5, you could almost wrap it up there and be okay.
oh yeah, the
Because
rest
I
is just
think I think that's when they thought it might not come back right away. So they
right.
actually kind of tied it up in a way where it would almost make sense. Or maybe it was the end of season 5. Actually, they did that. I don't know. Maybe I thought it was 4. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's if anybody, if somebody started watching Game of Thrones and couldn't keep it going. I mean, that's such good shows, man. Like what? But
It's
everybody,
just
different strokes for different folks, man. I
a
get
long
it.
commitment of time. Ronnie says it's so good, but imagine watching it in real time. That's even worse because then you gotta get the cliffhanger and wait a week to find out what the next episode is. I like binge watching. I personally
Well, that's
don't.
what happened with me with Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
So I
before I
got
get
into Game of Thrones when season 3 was about to start.
mm,
So I binged fucking 2 seasons in like a weekend thinking that was the best thing I ever did. Nope. Because then for multiple seasons, I had to wait every fucking Sunday night.
yeah, I'm not a fan. I used to like it, but now that I don't, now that I can binge, I like binging better. Then he says I've meant to 100 times watch Lost. He says, but I haven't actually watched the fictional series in ages. I haven't either till Cobra Kai, but I like Cobra Kai. What he says, they come back to the smoke monster. I wondered what the heck that was. It made no sense.
Yeah.
The guy says I never watched Lost, but I came across a video where condensing the entire show into one video, so I watched it all in 45. That's probably what I would do. Watch. Yeah, just get a summary. He says my kids are
You're
on.
doing yourself a disservice, man. I'm telling you, the character development in that show is fucking
Right.
top tier, man. I'm telling you, it's top tier.
It's a lot of time though. He says my kids are on me to watch Stranger Things before the new season starts. I've never watched Stranger Things either.
Really, that's a good show.
I think I would like that. Yeah. Ronnie says
That
Heroes
show
is the
does
legendary
drag.
show.
The show does drag a little bit, but it's really good. I love Stranger Things.
Yeah, some of those shows that drag, I can't get into, but if it catches my attention, I can. Ronnie says Heroes is a legendary show. That's to me was the best show of all time, especially the first season. It's the best one season of a show of all time. The best, the
Yeah, I
first
liked
one.
Heroes.
Yeah, that was so good.
What?
Ronnie mentions The Boys. I haven't watched The Boys yet. That's something I know I would like. I
I
just
like The
haven't.
Boys.
Yeah, I haven't got
Episode
into
1 of The
it.
Boys was insane.
Oh
From
yeah,
like the first 10 minutes, I was like, what?
they know how to grab your attention.
Yeah,
Then he
they
says,
definitely grab your attention.
I watched the first season of Game of Thrones and just couldn't after Lady gave birth to dragons. Or ooh, I see. I've never seen Game of Thrones. That's another one I hope I get around to, but I don't know if I will. I'm not into
Yeah, I would
scripted
definitely
stuff.
watch Game of Thrones. Definitely watch Lost. The 100, I'm telling you, The 100 is...
Yeah, that looked good on the previews. I remember.
Not going to
Ronnie
say I
says
liked it more than Lost, but god damn, that show's good.
they were in purgatory. Woody says GOT season 8 was a disappointment. Oh, Game of Thrones season 8 was a disappointment, but what they had 8 seasons a year after, and it wasn't as bad as I remembered. And they have a spinoff too. Please, please, please watch the rehearsal mode. You'll love it, says Ronnie. Denny says going to the F1 race in Montreal. Nice, Denny. Have fun. F1's been getting more and more popular lately. Ronnie says it's all about human psychology experiments made on a grand scale by a Canadian comedian. What? Got into Game of
Hmm.
Thrones from day one. Same with Lost. Then he says, taking the whole fam, F1 is not a cheap spectator sport. Yeah, we just go to the sports drone where people do figure eights and crash into each other. All right, y'all, we got to end this live stream. I got to get to work. This hamburger is not going to help itself.
Hell yeah, brother. And nobody didn't really brush on it, but markets are pumping. Keep it going.
Let's go. Yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday. We got this new setup thanks to Mo, and it seems like it worked all right. No technical difficulties. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's our Tuesday show. We do it every Tuesday from 5 to 7. Shout out to Mo for hosting, not even co-hosting, but hosting this week. Appreciate you,
Yeah,
bro.
man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping on, having some conversation. Chat, we'll work on getting you guys back on the screen, get chat up on. I just didn't know how to pull his chat real time like I do for mine. So I'll work on that, and we'll get it going. But if you guys want to add anything to the overlays or don't like it, let us know, and we'll accommodate you, because you're chat. You're the reason why we do it. So thanks for coming out. Vault, have a good rest of your week. And actually, what are you watching this week? You didn't tell me.
You already know I'm watching the Pacers take this championship and bring it home to Indiana. Let's go.
That's right. Go Pacers. All right. Appreciate you guys. That's right. I got to be the one that ends the stream today.
Yep. Later, everybody.
Chat, take it easy. Catch you soon. Peace.